What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We are here on a Tuesday night panel conversation, ladies and gentlemen. As always, amazing times to be a Dolphin fan. We have a bright future ahead of us. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on your way in the building. I'm glad to see everybody already waiting on the stream to start. Y'all got to forgive us. As always, EM made us late again. But I have some sad news to report. EM said that he will not be joining us tonight because with the new news that the Dolphins may not be taking Tua. Tua basically took it out on him today, and he had a rough day. So y'all just y'all make sure that y'all think about EM in these times of trouble as he is dealing with it with Tua Tagovailoa, but it's all right. We're gonna uplift EM regardless. He say he might stop by and sneak on his phone if Tua allows him to in the comment section. So we shall see, guys. But we have a great panel show for you all tonight. A lot to talk about. I guess the theme of tonight is really going to be called smokescreen. What is a smokescreen? Which rumors are we hearing that are smoke screens? Oh, there go EM. He in the comment section. He say, "I'm listening, bro. I know you're listening. You told me you're gonna try to listen and hide the phone from Tua. But hey, man, if you can come on, if he allows you to, let us know, man. It's smoke screens, man. What is a smoke screen? What is a smoke screen? And out of everything that we're hearing, is it a smoke screen or is it legit? We're going to talk about a lot of these things. Man, we've been backstage for the last 15 minutes going at it ourselves. We done already had a show. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I done got heated. Reason done got heated. Finsanity 5 done got heated. Our special guest just sitting there and taking it all in. And it's just fun times, man. Y'all hit that like button on your way in the building. We already got 60 people watching, only 39 likes. So show your love and hit that like button, guys. But first, I want to give a special happy birthday to our boy Reason. What's up, Reason?
What's good, homie? Just here, bro.
Awesome, man. You enjoying your birthday, man?
Tonight, bro. The buffoonery is real already.
You taking over for Ian with the buffoonery.
I can't even deal, bro. I was sitting here like, we got an offensive a line good enough to beat Wisconsin, a stellar team, but we're actually arguing whether they're good or not. All right, holla at me.
All right, let's get it then. Let's get it. We're going to have some fun. Everybody giving you happy birthday wishes in the comment section, man.
What's up?
Shout out. And shout out to everybody supporting Reason on his birthday. We also got the queen, none other than herself, Finsanity 5. What's up? Oh, she muted. Gotta unmute. There you go.
Oh, Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing? Hi, iTest. It's nice to see you in the comments section. I haven't heard from you in a very long time. But listen, it's a beautiful Tuesday night. I got to watch my niece play basketball today. So I am in a great, energetic mood tonight. So hopefully EM hops on. I would love to, talk to him.
Hopping on.
He's going to hop on. EM, once you get to a topic that he's really passionate about, he's going to hop on and, give us,
Tua got him on lock tonight.
Nah. iTest is in the building. That is so great.
It's because we went mad late yesterday. That's why.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. He had to get up pretty early.
Yeah, this guy gets up at 4:30. I think we went till like 12:30 my time or whatever.
EM still be up though. Don't let EM fool y'all. He be like, hey man, 4:30 coming soon. He still be up for another hour and a half. Texting to her back and forth. Still be up. Can't go to sleep. Fall asleep with the phone on, talking to her. But it's all right, man. We understand, man. Love is real, man. Love is real. All right, and we got a special guest tonight. We want to give a special shout out to Cease007. What's up?
What's up, y'all? Yo, TD, I like your wall too.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Hey, I should. Oh, why? Because the Tannehill posted out.
I didn't say that. I just said it.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Good eye. I like that. Good eye.
Yeah, hey, you see, we got two of the biggest Tannehill haters alive on the panel tonight. Cease007 and Finsanity 5.
You shouldn't talk about Reason that way.
Oh wow, Reason ain't hate on Tannehill. I don't know. Maybe 3 of the biggest Tannehill haters. I don't know.
What do you mean? No, I don't hate. I like Tannehill.
I know. I'm messing with you.
I honestly think if he like literally played quarterback through all of college, still, I think I'd like his football IQ, man. I think he would have been. I think we would have seen it quicker. What we're seeing now.
So you think this is the Tannehill we would have wished we saw coming in?
I think so, man. We talked about it.
I don't know yet.
I think you know what? I think people were like, man, those 2 years, and I think he should have stayed as a senior too. To be honest with you,
then maybe we should just go get Tannehill back, man.
If he was a 4-year starter at college, I think you would have seen a better product. I'm not saying you would have had an excellent, like, game-breaking game changer, but I think he would have been, above average from the beginning. He wouldn't have worked his way to above average.
Too many different coaches. He would have been okay if he was under a good coach, but too many different offensive coordinators, head coaches. It wasn't going to work out.
I mean, hey, my boy Tua had 3 different offensive coordinators in college.
Well, he ain't Tua.
And that's not the Bama system.
And 12 different injuries.
Yeah, hey.
Four per coach.
Stop. And still on one leg, he had a better game than Joe Burrow. All at me.
Hey, well, y'all know I'll be trolling y'all about Tua, man. Tua's pretty good, man. I just don't want him in Miami. So let's talk about a few things, though. Let's go ahead and get this started off the right way. Like I was telling everybody, the theme of all of this is going to be smoke screen tonight. What's a smoke screen? Who's executing a smoke screen? Who's not executing a smoke screen? What's really going? Let's decipher through all this stuff and what's real and what's not. That's what we want to talk about tonight. But I want to start out before we even talk about it, I'm gonna throw out a few that we've been hearing lately. The Raiders are now in the mix. We got the Chargers in the mix. We got the Colts in the mix. We got the y'all help me out.
Panthers for Burrow.
The Panthers in the mix. Who else? Quarterback. They're talking quarterback. The Lions are in the mix, even though probably one of the biggest smoke screens, but we shall see. The Lions are in the mix. Dolphins obviously in the mix. That's 6 teams right there. Am I missing any? No. It has to be about 1 or 2 more, right?
But, you always got to watch out for those sleepers because who would have thought
Patriots?
Yeah, who would have thought Kansas City back then would have moved up from 27 to 10 with Alex Smith to get Mahomes, right? So
Tennessee.
Never know.
I just want to see where Teddy ends up, and I think that once Teddy, drops, a lot of things are going to become clear.
Tampa Bay.
What?
And Drew Brees announced he's coming back today.
He's coming back to the Saints. So they got their 1-2 combo with Taysom Hill. It's a lot of stuff going on out here, and nobody can feel safe about it. But let's start at the top of the hour with I want to start out with what I think is the biggest news. I know some people may think other things are the biggest news, but this should be a quick conversation, but I do want to talk about it. I want to get y'all thoughts. Joe Burrow, ladies and gentlemen, says he has leverage. He has leverage. I'm going to start out at the top right with reason. What does that mean?
So basically, he thinks he has leverage like how Eli had. That's basically what we're getting at. He doesn't have to go there. I think he's trying to pull that. If he looks them dead in the eye and say, I'm willing to sit a year and re-enter the draft, at the end of the day, you got leverage. I don't think he had leverage like Kyler Murray. Now, Kyler Murray had leverage because he could say, I could go play baseball. And what are you going to do? So I don't know how much leverage Joe Burrow really thinks he has, but at the end of the day, every player has leverage because they can say, I'm not coming there. Elway did it, right? So, Bo did it when he was first drafted by the Bucks, right? So, same token, and here, we were talking about how I think the Lions are going to finish top 3 worst. What if the Bengals are bad again and they get 1 and they just turn around and they draft you again? So, you got to look at it from all those different scenarios, right? But, I think he's hearing too much from Jordan Palmer and Carson Palmer and TJ Houshmandzadeh. And as you guys know, what's his face? The guy who was taken number 1 by the Atlanta Falcons in 1975, the quarterback.
The weird last name,
Barkowski. Apparently, he went to their family and told their family directly, don't don't let the Bengals draft you, because I mean he was in purgatory with the Falcons when they took him out one overall. And someone made a good point. Remember Jim Plunkett? Jim Plunkett was drafted by the New England Patriots, and everyone thought he was a bust. Then he goes to the Raiders, and you actually saw what he was worth. And what have I said all along? I love Burrow. I love the talent, man. And I'm just worried that they're gonna ruin him. And I think it's a legitimate concern. And if I was him, it's something, you got to pull that Herbert card. You got to say, hey, if there's someone you like, make a move for them and let me fall.
So, Finsanity, what's your thoughts about it? I have leverage.
I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to, put a filler out for teams who would possibly want to trade for him and move up for him. He wants to see, how plausible is this? If I say, I don't want to go to the Bengals, or what teams are going to be interested in, making that move for me? And can a deal get done, in principle? So even if I'm the first pick, that the next team who picks a quarterback, there will be that, trade-off, kind of like there was back in, Eli's day. But I really feel like it just comes down to, marketing. Cincinnati's not a, big market city. And, right now he's hot. And he's going to want to go to a team where he can compete and win and keep, this thing steaming, because he came out of nowhere. And right now he has to take advantage of this in every way possible. Granted, Baker Mayfield probably could have done this. I mean, he's not Joe Burrow, but if he would have said, I don't want to go to the Browns, it's kind of like guys trying to take over, their market and their brand, and saying just because, you guys suck for me doesn't mean I'm going to listen. And this will also go into players like we were talking about Herbert, how he sat a year because he didn't want to go to a certain franchise. And then he came back and now he's not even as high. So when it's time for you to go into the draft, having that ability to say, okay, I'm not going to play for these teams and you are not on my list. And if you guys draft me, I am not, going to, sign with you guys. It's really going to create a crazy precedent. And that's what we're seeing. And I think this goes back into the NBA and with LeBron and controlling your brand and where you go and where you play. Because if you go somewhere and you lose, the NFL and the fan bases are very unforgiving. They will not make too many excuses for you, especially if you come out of college and you are, seen as the cream of the crop. You're a first round draft pick. You're the first pick overall. You're expected to produce. But if you're going to a place where you feel like you're not able to do that, we're not going to give excuses. We're going to say, well, what happened? So I believe that's what it comes down to. He's not trying to put himself in a worse situation than he could be in, because there are other teams that could move up, who are in position to move up, where he would be in a better organization, a better franchise, a better market. And to me, it is a smart move to put this out so early before the combine, before, pro days and all that. Let's see where we're at with this and where we can get some traction on some of this information getting out and getting leaked. Well, it's not even leaked because he said it himself.
C007, do you think this is going to work?
One of the things I think that, number one, he's had a great year, great college year, and he's kind of riding off of that. It might work, but the thing about it is, what team does he really want to go and play for? You know what I mean? Because just say, hypothetically, okay, say he's spot with Miami, doesn't want to play in Miami. So it might work. It worked before. I think the NFL needs to do something about it. You know what I mean? Because if an organization has got that much trust and belief that you can change their franchise and change, their winning from being a losing franchise to a winning franchise, and they bring that much faith that you can do that, I think he would do good in Cincinnati. I mean, it's not like they haven't had weapons. It's not like they haven't made the playoffs. You know what I mean? So it's not like, okay, I can see him going to Cleveland. Cleveland is notorious for being a bad team, bad record, not making the playoffs, but he could turn this organization around.
You know what's crazy too about it? If Burrow actually sat back and looked at it, because let's say the AJ Green and the Patriots rumors are just, they're not true, and it's just, they've looked into it or whatever, and there's no real substance to it. If they were to franchise tag him, offensively they run a West Coast, you know what I mean? And Joe Brady, what did he implement? In LSU, he implemented the Saints version of the West Coast offense. So schematically, it's actually a damn near perfect fit for him. It's just the fact that, everyone and their mother, like I was listening to Rich Eisen today, he said the same thing. He's like, every player who's complained to me about it, and Phil Simms said the same thing, or sorry, Chris Simms, the son, said the same thing. Every player or like every executive who's complained about to me about an organization, the majority of it has been about people who have come out of Cincinnati and how they don't care about winning. It's just literally the bottom line. So, like, they lose AJ. You look at that situation. Okay, you're going to franchise AJ Green. Who's to say they're going to invest in another, in weapons after that, or they're just going to try and groom guys because their offensive line wasn't that great this year either. So, like, who's to say, they were basically making the playoffs off really good defenses, and Dalton had some good years, right? Like, I mean, good. I use that term very loosely, but like he had passable years, right, where he could get it done. And now they don't have that. Now they got Zach Taylor, a guy who's finding his way. The defense, all the playmakers that were there on the playoff teams are no longer there, really. And then now you're looking at AJ Green's getting up there. He's got the injury bug. Are you going to franchise tag him? Is he going to be there forever? And then behind him, you got a young core of receivers. And, Tyler Eifert as a tight end never turned in to what he was supposed to be. Joe Mixon, so hit or miss, right? He could give you 150 yards one game. Next game, he's giving you like 28, 30 yards, right? So it's such a, and on top, that's what it comes down to. Are they going to invest in this team and make it a winner? And when everyone around you is telling you that they're not going to, I mean, who are you going to listen to as a young kid coming out looking for the best of your future? And I think Jimmy Burrow, his dad, and I go back to this, is like to his dad. His thumbprints are all over this, man. The guy played football himself, so that's another. It's not some random dad that was just always on the sidelines watching his kid grow up play. This is a guy who's been in the game, and people who are in the game and are connected to the game are telling him this. You're going to have even another set of ears listening attentively, and that's an issue for the Cincinnati Bengals, man. It goes deeper than Burrow.
Yeah. Is it gonna work though?
I think it could work. And someone made a great point. This guy could go there. He could turn that franchise around. And what could he be? He could be like go back to this guy. He could turn up being like how Elway was with Denver. He's got restaurants in the city, and he's the god walking the streets because they're so hungry for a winner. Or he can go to yeah, exactly. Or he can go to a better situation that's a little bit more used to winner, where he won't be as revered, but he'll still be put on that pedestal. So you gotta ask yourself, what do you want? Right?
If he goes to another team, just say, I thought Miami. Okay, Miami makes that say, you know what, we're going to go up and get Burrow. If he doesn't want to play there, and just say, I'm not playing in Miami. But even if he does play in Miami, and Miami gives all that up, stock up, and the draft picks and whatnot, and then he busts. So, I mean, he's playing it. I mean, he's playing both ends because he's had a great year. And everybody, he's just thrown into the spotlight because he had a great year, this year. But he just said, and he even said, he says, I don't know. He says, I'm hoping that I'm not a bust, but you never know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, look,
do we think Burrow's going to be a bust?
And you're touching on something that no one's talking about, sis. And this is what the issue is. Now this guy's backing himself into a corner where you better perform, bud. Like, if you force your way out, or like you put up a big stink about going there, buddy, you better put up or shut up, because that's the thing. I've said this to Insanity. The difference between him and Tua is I think Tua would just shut up and go because that's how he was raised. Yes. Burrow, you can tell. Look, he's smoking cigar after the game. You know what I mean? Like, he's got that. They've got different arrogances. Like I say, Tua's got that real G's move and silence like lasagna arrogance, while Burrow walks in and wants to take over the room and wants everyone to know he's taking over the room. They're two different levels. And the problem with that level of arrogance is more often than not, you got to put up or shut up with that level, as opposed to the guy who just sits there and he knows he's good. He don't got to say it, right?
But I think that comes from because, he was, highly recruited, and he got pushed out of big name programs. And it was, written, and then how bad he did, the year before with LSU, and then for him to come and spark, I think it's kind of like his, like, I told you so, like his chauvinistic way, like, you guys wrote me off, but look at me now. Now you kind of have to, eat your words and, bow down, quote unquote, to me because I'm the Heisman winner. And on top of that, I led my team to a national championship when we weren't even put in the race,
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where it's coming from. I think where everyone was, broadcasting his downfall and, how he was busted up until this one season, because I in no way saw this Joe Burrow situation coming this year.
No.
And I think that's just him smelling himself too much because of all of this. You get kicked out of Ohio State, and then Ohio State's in the college football playoffs, but they get tossed out, and now I'm the one winning this. So you could have had me, but we don't know if he would have been successful in Ohio State because he had to be given the perfect system in order to succeed.
You know what I noticed though? If you look at over all the quarterbacks that have won like the Heisman and pretty much had, kind of arrogant quarterbacks, they haven't really fared out too well in their pros on the next level. And then if you look at the quarterbacks that were humble and, played at a team ball and, gave respect to the organizations and played and got drafted and went where they were supposed to go and built that thing out, they've been pretty much successful. And I think Joe Burrow, pride always comes before a fall. And I think he's dealing with a lot of pride and whatnot. Everybody throwing all this fame, fortune at him and stuff like that. And I think he's bigger than what the team. He's never going to be bigger than the Cincinnati Bengals. It's an NFL football team. They've been around for years. Like you said, he's a hometown kid. He's got an opportunity to change that whole city, to change the whole history of that organization. From Carson Palmer, to the Red Rocket and everybody else, even going all the way back to Boomer and stuff. Boomer got there and stuff like that. If he can get that team into the playoffs, and then even if they could get some players around, and can you imagine if you think about LeBron James, Cleveland Cavaliers, and LeBron, he could have said, you know what, I could have went anywhere, stayed home, Nad came back and won him a championship. He's gold.
So there's a couple things I point to. If you really want a scary list, sis, go off the Heisman and go look at every quarterback who's thrown 50 or more touchdowns in a FBS season, and it's not a very pretty list to look at. So when I tuned in and when I was like, oh my goodness gracious me, was the Texas game, because I actually tuned in to watch a bit of Sam Ehlinger. And I tuned in and this kid jumped off. And so I did a little bit more research. And you know what? The thing is, he had bad luck, right? Because JT Barrett was a starter in Ohio State, right? And then he was battling it out with Dwayne Haskins and he got that hand injury. And then he figured out Haskins was going to be the starter. And he left, right? And he came out here and he came last year. And, I don't even think you could really say it I guess you could with Jamarcus Russell, but I wouldn't say it. But, FinStandy, perfectly, what is LSU always known as? They were always known as a team that could run the ball. They were never known as a team that would light you up in the air. So what does this guy do? They actually go out. They move from like almost kind of a power run spread, right? And then they implement a West Coast NFL scheme, and this guy lights the freaking world up. So, I think it was the perfect storm. And, my knock on him has always been there's not enough tape. With Tua, I can go back. There's tape, and it's some of the best tape I've ever seen, and there's multiple years of it. So that's my only thing, right? So, I think Burrow is the type of guy with the right fit, with the right coaching around him. I think he could be a game changer, man. It's when and I've broken this down in the game chat, when you start running into little errors with his game, and I've said this before, he does have problems hitting receivers consistently in stride on slants. And when you get to intermediate throws outside the numbers, I've said this before, this season, 2019 on intermediate throws outside the numbers, he was 21 of 43 for 333 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 4 picks, and that leaps out at me. So that's a little bit of a flag. But it's
talking about Burrow.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw that. Let alone you just watched the Alabama game when he was trying to hit his receivers outside the numbers.
Yeah,
he couldn't do it. He didn't have the touch. He was leaving them too much outside.
Yeah, and
he didn't have the touch.
And Finsanity, arguably the best corner in the nation this year, was Derek Stingley, and who lit him up, especially outside the numbers on that Devontae Smith throw. Tua Tagovailoa. Derek Stingley had his worst game of the season, and Tua beat him outside the numbers on top of it. So, I mean, that's all I'm saying.
I think
there's not too many corners that can keep up with Devontae Smith.
Put Tua on any team in the NFL. If you can hit it, if you can pick out a receiver and you're accurate and you can hit them, you're going to be fine. And I think Burrow, he's a great quarterback, but I don't know if he can go to. He's going to have to be to a team that fits him perfectly. They're going to have to devise a scheme around him. I think Tua can go into any scheme and say, you know what, throw the ball and he's going to be fine. Burrow,
so let me ask y'all a question then, because y'all talk about Tua and Burrow. Then because somebody put this up in the comment earlier, and I want to talk about it real quick. So what if Burrow just like his team convinces him to push this a little more? I don't want to be in Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. Could the Cincinnati Bengals draft Tua Tagovailoa?
It's possible. If he wasn't hurt, he'd probably be maybe it would be still an argument between who's going first, him or Burrow.
Say it again. What was the question? Say it again, sorry.
The question was if Burrow's team can push him to go all in on that Eli situation and say, oh, I don't want to be in Cincinnati.
Okay.
Could the Bengals take Tua?
I think from what I understand, it's Herbert.
So they would take Herbert over Tua?
I heard they're the team that came away from the Senior Bowl most in love, and they are the team that had the coaching staff, right? So they were the most hands-on with him. And I heard they were and like you can find, dude, I sent you some of the interviews of their Bengals offensive coordinator was like gushing, bro. Like this guy couldn't keep his pants on when he was talking about Herbert. You saw it. I sent it in our thing, man.
I just think they want someone to start day one for them. I
think
they're throwing someone into the fire.
Exactly.
And against Baltimore and the Steelers, Lord have mercy on them.
Thank you very much.
I want to ask TD something. Overall, out of the quarterbacks that you've seen that's getting ready to come out of college,
Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Who do you think has the best leadership qualities that you would want representing your organization 10, 15 years?
Okay, so I'm going to answer it. It's just hard for me to answer it because to grade leadership, I would need to see more from every single one of them, right?
From what you know right now.
From what I know right now, number one, I would say is Tua. Number two, I would say is Joe Burrow.
Okay.
And Joe Burrow's, I don't even see in the form like Tua's. I don't see Joe Burrow all up in the team and this and that. I just think his leadership is on the field through his play. Tua has that other attribute of it where it expands a little larger than that. So that's where I am on that.
To the community, outside off the football field.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Very humble. He, you know what I mean? He's well spoken. He's a religious young man, and so.
Don't you think that's what we need, sis? I've talked about this. Let's get off the field. I've talked about this. Just his intangibles and what you see off the field. And, you know, your daughter's an Alabama fan, and you see how he is as a leader. Don't you think it's time we have someone like that in the locker room at that position?
Do you know who else is like that? And, like, a lot of people don't give him enough credit for it, that it's in the NFL? Russell Wilson. Go look at all the work he does and his reverence to God and all that. Yep. And you'll see –
I'm a pastor.
It's eerily similar.
I'm a pastor. And when I listen to that young man talk, and I'm a firm believer that, you know, God moves in mysterious ways, and it's just so ironic that he could actually fall to Miami, and if he hadn't got injured and stuff like that, and where we're sitting at number 5, it would almost be impossible to get him. If he wasn't injured, he would either go number one.
He'd be the number one. He'd be the number one guy off the board.
Did someone just
If
say
he was
Tebow?
healthy, I firmly believe. If he didn't have that hip injury, I firmly believe. I'm not saying LSU would have lost, but that playoff picture would have been a whole hell of a lot different. That playoff picture would have been a whole hell of a lot different, and he would have been, because people don't do math. I sat there and I did the math. I actually did the math. Okay, so when he was hurt, right, I believe it was 9 games in, he had 33 touchdowns and 3 picks. Okay, so I took his touchdowns and I broke it down by each game's average. I think it was about 3.6 touchdowns per game. So without hitting 4 or 5 touchdowns in a game, which we all know he would have against some bum defense, right? He would have still hit 48 touchdowns. So we would have seen, I confidently say, we would have seen a 50-plus touchdown season had he not been hurt.
TD.
Yes.
Adversity makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That young man has been through some adversity. He's on the mountaintop. He knows what it means to get knocked off of it. And I think if he comes back healthy, you're going to see something probably that you haven't seen in a long, long time, because he's got good values. He's a very humble guy. He's a religious young man, like I said earlier, and he's taken the lumps and blows. He's been hurt, so he knows what that feels like. His career was pretty much, some people said his career is over, and he's working extra hard to get back on that field. Not only to prove it to fans and prove it to himself. Can you imagine what his mom and dad felt? Saw their son. My son got hurt and saw their son and looked at him, and he's like almost crippled, but he went through it, and he's going to be better for it.
Yeah,
and save that space on your wall. Save that space on your wall. When you had that Tannehill one,
Tua.
If that's the case, then I need to put me a Tebow Miami Dolphins jersey right there.
What do I call him, TD? What do I call him? What do I call him? Tua.
Who's that?
What do I call Tua? The left hand of God. The left arm of God, brother.
Okay. I don't know, man. Listen, like y'all say, he's been through a lot. He's been tested, but at the end of the day, I'm just concerned that those tests aren't over.
True that.
His tribulations aren't over. So, because everybody had that point where they go through and they just have to rise above, especially with your faith. But hopefully he's past that part, and we know a lot of those tests come from the opposition of God. So at the end of the day, that's always going to be there. It's not going to get easier. You're always going to be tested. It's just the one thing I do love is how he is fighting through every single time and, enduring whatever it is to get back to where he needs to be. We just got to see how that translates whenever he gets in this league. And I don't know if it's gonna be the Dolphins. We'll see. His blessing might be in another city, y'all. I'm just saying.
Man, they joke, TD. Come on, man.
I don't know where his blessing.
Who had it all taken away, and then what?
We passed on another guy that had a severe injury.
Yep. Hey, sis. Hey,
Drew Brees. Are you doing Drew Brees again?
He passed on him twice.
Hey, sis. A lot of people don't talk about only 10%. Under 10% of people get the same range and motion back in that shoulder from that surgery that he had. And people don't talk about that. That was an under 10% chance that he came back. And what did he turn into? Well, he worked with Tom House, who's one of the best quarterback coaches in the world. But, look what he turned into, one of the most accurate
quarterback.
Exactly, man. That was after the surgery, right? He adapted. And did you know this? We got into this conversation, TD. You're like, oh, what is baseball?
Tua was flopping.
What is baseball?
Tua was flopping.
What is when I brought up Kyler? What does baseball have to do with football in terms of motion? Did you know this? I'm gonna throw something at you. Drew Brees has the exact same throwing motion as Greg Maddux. Think about that one. That's a Hall of Fame pitcher. Same motion.
When he was first with San Diego.
I'm sorry?
He wasn't that good when he was.
No, he changed his motion. He changed his whole throwing motion after the surgery, and now he has the Greg Maddux throwing motion, and now you've seen the most accurate thrower in NFL history, arguably.
Hey, so I want to keep going down this road real quick. So, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if Burrow, continues down this path and the Bengals end up selecting Tua Tagovailoa, then what happens in the rest of this draft in the next 5 picks? I mean Herbert, not Tua. They select Herbert because Burrow doesn't want to be there.
Okay.
This is what I said.
Then what happens in the next 4 picks in the draft?
Wildfire, brother. Wildfire.
What happens at number 2?
Brother. Oh.
What happens at number 2?
Washington's going to be offered a haul. Yeah. And like I said, you know, I've heard Ron Rivera loves Chase Young, so that might be hard. But if they don't get it, Detroit's getting it. Someone getting a haul, brother, for that. Whether right or wrong, someone's getting a haul.
But do you think Detroit can afford to let Burrow go with that fan base?
I'm sorry?
Say that again, Finsanity.
Do you think Detroit can, afford to let a guy like Burrow walk? And like if he's sitting there and you haven't won in a very long time, even after Matthew Stafford, like come on. That is going to be a hard, sell to your fan base when you go back.
Save their job reason? Could that save Patricia's job?
No, I agree. It's insanity. I agree. It's 110% insanity. But what I'm saying is, and it's kind of often saying it's more to the fan base. You know, people need to ease up on the hype. He's not Andrew Luck. You know what I mean? Like that's my whole issue. Like we're not talking Andrew Luck move off Peyton Manning here. You know what I mean? But Finsanity's right. In the same token, like, how are you gonna? The most hyped quarterback in this draft so far. How are you going to sell that to your fan base? And the thing is, I've said about Tua, the one thing you'd have a problem selling at 3 is you're moving off a guy, Stafford, who you're going to sell to them has durability issues for another guy who could potentially have durability issues. With Burrow, that's not a question. So, I mean, Finsanity's right. I can't disagree with that at all. But at the same token, like, man, people need to ease up. He ain't Andrew Luck.
So we talked about this earlier, Reason, and I want you to elaborate on this because a lot of people don't know this information that we were discussing about before we started the stream. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the Lions with the 3rd overall pick for a second in relation to the Miami Dolphins. What do we know as far as the reach out and where the Dolphins stand on that? Because you articulate that whole situation well. I'd rather you go ahead and communicate.
All right. So I was just talking about it earlier before we went live, and basically I can pull it up here. Let me pull it up. What's going on with the Detroit Lions right now? And the number 3 pick is here. I'll tell you right now. All right. So. Reason that we're knocking on the door. Okay, so from everything that's being understood is we've already approached Detroit Lions at 3, and basically So let's preface that we got a head start onto his medical, and we like what we heard. The word is we liked what we heard. We got a head start, and we wanted to beat other teams to the punch because we have a feeling internally that come the combine, he's going to be good to go. So we tried to jump the punch. We engaged those rumors 2 weeks ago about, the leak about us engaging talks with Detroit Lions. From what I'm understanding, they are true. And we didn't like what we heard in terms of asking price. Apparently they are asking an astronomical price. And that's why we put it out there that, hey, we're not going to, Herbert was basically put out there to say, hey, we're not going to pay the world to move up to 3 when there's other quarterbacks in this draft that we could potentially like or take. So, I mean, that's all up for debate right now. On the same token, I am hearing why they are asking for astronomical price is because they really want to fill a bunch of holes on the defensive side of the ball. So on the same token, they're basically throwing it out there that, that whole Tua thing came out there that, hey, we're sitting here, we got a guy with durability issues, we're going to take your guy. So we're getting into kind of a game of chicken. And I mean, it's good to see that the Dolphins are willing to pony up 3 or 4 draft picks to move up to the 3rd spot, because as much as I love Tua, that's stupid. So.
So what is that haul that they're asking for, possibly?
From what, like 3 to 4, like I'm thinking 3 to 4 draft picks, man. And you know what the problem was?
First rounders.
You know what the problem was, brother? You got, we talked about the Mahomes, right? They sent to move up from 27 to 10. They sent 2 firsts, and it was a second or a third. You know what I mean? And then we got a problem with the Bears. Look what the Bears gave up to the San Francisco 49ers to move up from 3 to 2 to take Trubisky, right? They gave up firsts to move up 1 spot, man. So we got stupid teams, stupid GMs before us setting precedents that we aren't liking. And one of the worst rumors is we're a QB needy team. So it hurts, man. Like I said, on the last stream, problem when you have all this capital and when someone knows you're a QB needy team, they're going to gouge you, right?
But you said a reason. GM setting ridiculous precedents.
It's like the contracts we talk about.
Yeah.
Some GMs did it in the draft thinking they're going to get a franchise guy, brother. And come on, even hindsight's 2020, let's forget all about that. TD, Finsanity, Sis, if you were sitting there day one at 3, who's moving up for Trubisky when a guy like Deshaun Watson is there? Even if you haven't done your homework on Texas Tech, come on, people. Like that's, and you got guys like that who are setting precedents who see Trubisky over Mahomes. I want to be in that draft room. I want to look at that draft board. How is that guy higher than Mahomes and Deshaun Watson? I want to know who wrote that in there because they're the first person I'm kicking out of the room.
Well, he was the prototype cookie cutter All-American quarterback. From a look standpoint, and they overlooked the actual talent and production that some of these other guys, were putting out there, and said, and to speak to the city of Chicago, if you would have gotten Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson, it would have been perfect. But we're not going to go down that slippery slope.
What did the Jets give to get Sam Darnold? Because they went from 6 to 2.
Oh, when the Jets moved up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I actually don't know that package. I'll look right now for you.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That's actually a good barometer. That's a great gauge right there. It'll be a little different for us, 5 to 3, but 6 to 2 is fair to gauge that.
Reason. Mm-hmm. Someone said they'd rather have Jacob Eason over Love. What do you say to that?
I've talked about Eason. I like him, man. I see good things. He got a really strong arm. Everyone talks about Herbert's arm, but not enough people are talking about Jacob Eason's arm, man.
I wouldn't take him over Love, though.
No, the problem with him is, I'm not going to bring up names, but you get into a problem with he's not mobile, but it's worse than that. When he gets pressure, when the pocket collapses, the accuracy numbers dip like not just a tad, they dip very, very drastically.
What name was erratic,
and his decision making becomes very, very bad under pressure.
What name were you going to bring up, Reason?
I was just going to bring up the mobility issue, not in terms of the pressure accuracy rate.
No,
it was just the mobility. The mobility.
Which player were you going to bring up?
You already know. I'm not going to say.
I ain't going to start no argument. Well, ain't nobody here to argue with you. Oh, man. So, did you look it up?
I'm looking at it right now.
Man, Eason went toe-to-toe with Herbert. Oh,
here we go. The Jets announced that they gave up their number 6 pick and 2 second-round picks, the 37th and the 49th, as well as a 2019 second-round pick.
Jeez! Say that again?
So they gave up the 6th, the 37th, the 49th, so 2 seconds, and then a second in the next year. So 3 seconds and a first.
That's a lot to me, man. 3 additional seconds. Seconds are valuable to me. Seconds are really valuable.
Another guy, bro, like in college, what are they doing? Why are they drafting this guy when you don't have your offensive line? Because who's watching the tape on this guy? If you watch Sam Darnold's tape, when the pressure came and the pocket collapsed, the guy was a problem. But when he had time, the guy was an elite thrower of the football. But when the serious pressure came, you were having serious accuracy issues. And that's why when I was in your comments, I was saying he's seeing ghosts before he got mic'd up. And everyone said he's seeing ghosts because he saw that happen in college when the pressure was heavy. So why are you drafting a guy like that when you don't have the offensive line ready? And you're giving up all those assets. I don't know. So.
Well, Well, let's switch gears for a second here. Why should we be worried about the Chargers?
Because they let go of Philip Rivers and there's no heir apparent, and you still have talent. You have a decent wide receiving core right now, and you have to utilize it right now and get someone young while you don't have to pay your quarterback because Keenan Allen will be demanding a new contract. Are they moving off of Travis Benjamin and those guys? I don't know what to do with them, but while you have capable talent, you need to bring in someone, and they're also going to have to address their running back issue because Eckler and Gordon could possibly be out. So they're in a very interesting situation. And they're finally getting their stadium this year, correct? So they have that, coming on. It's just it's a lot of politics behind it all. Mm-hmm. They've had talent. They just haven't been able to produce. And the way that the Chiefs are moving, God forbid Mahomes does take a discount deal. Now you're looking at another 5 to 10 years where you could be behind the curveball just because you have a guy like this in your division.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a sleeper team also for Teddy as a bridge. Mm-hmm. Teddy Bridgewater. So I think that's a sleeper team because I've been linking them to Herbert, for a while now. I brought up Tua. A reason why Tua, if you look at them, Finstani's right. Offensive side of the ball, they got a lot of weapons. That once they shore up that running back situation, they got to fix the offensive line. That's for sure. But something, they were already. I think they were 18th in the pass and 18th in the pass and 13th or 14th in the run in terms of defensively. And no one's talking about that they're going to get Derwin James back. Right. And he's going to be back full season. That's a guy who puts your offensive in, Rivers didn't have that. And that's a guy who puts your offense in a position, short yardage position to get a touchdown, puts you in good position to get points off turnovers. And I think that's going to be a situation where all you need is a quarterback. And, I think there might be some smoke to the Brady thing. I think he's probably going to re-sign in New England. I wouldn't be shocked if he goes somewhere else, but I think they're a team where when you look at their weapons on both sides of the ball, they add a few pieces to the offensive line. They figure out their running back situation because they're going to have to pick one of the two guys, and they plop a quarterback in there, and you're very back to being a serious contender.
Right, and I mean the problem with Rivers was he just had too many turnovers, too many interceptions. Yeah. And if you can minimize those, there's a lot more games that they win.
Agreed.
And now you got the Patrick Mahomes era coming in, so you kind of just didn't cash in, that check while you had it. Philip Rivers was not, a horrible quarterback. We've seen worse. It's just that in certain situations, some games he's throwing 5 interceptions, and once it starts going, it's bleeding out someone's.
He's got that Favre syndrome where once it starts, it just starts. You know what he was this year? He was the AFC's Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
So, just he didn't hit that 30 for 30 special. You know what I mean? That ESPN episode.
They drafted him in 2005. They never put anybody behind him, and it's time. And they're probably a year late in doing it.
Agreed.
He came out of there with with Eli and those guys and stuff, Big Ben, and he's old.
Yeah. I mean, if you look around the whole league, there's a generation of quarterbacks that are on their way to being phased out. And right now, we have about 5 of them that's hitting free agency that they're only bridges right now. I mean, a team may even sign them on a 3 or 4 year deal, but we know they don't have a future in this league. This is probably their last contract before they get the 1 and 2 year deals at a time. And that's a large number, but you got to look at, I mean, we could go down the line, guys. You got to look at Ben Roethlisberger at some point. That's coming pretty soon. Matt Ryan's still young, but it's coming. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is about to get into that field, plus you got your Tom Brady, you got Drew Brees is going to retire. I'm not even going to add that after this year. I'm sure he's done. But your Phillip Rivers. I mean, we can keep going. That generation of quarterbacks.
You know what's crazy about that? You know what's crazy about that list you just gave to TD? Mm-hmm. Like, I think Matt Ryan's going to be this too as he gets up there. But right now, when you name like Rivers, Roethlisberger, Brady, and whoever that first other one was before Matt Ryan,
mm-hmm.
You know what the difference? You named 5. You know what the difference is? Brady and what's his face and Matt Ryan's mechanics are going to be why they last longer than Rivers. People don't talk. His arm's dying, and his mechanics are good. They're not great. his arm's dying, right? And he's a guy who always relied on his arm. Roethlisberger, they're okay, they're good mechanics, but they're not excellent, like to the point, right? And his arm's dying. So that's why you're gonna see those guys fall off, and that's why you're not seeing Breeze fall off. Breeze doesn't have the strongest arms, but his mechanics are like immaculate, and that's why he's still doing it at 40, right? So you get a problem with a lot of these guys, man. They don't continue develop. Like as you get older, your mechanics become way more important because you don't have the arm, man. And that's why Brady can last, and that's why Breeze can last.
Good observation.
And Rodgers, that's what you said. That's what you said. Rodgers has never had great mechanics. You know what I mean? He's never had
got that arm.
Exactly. And what are you seeing? The arm isn't there as it was 3 or 4 years ago. So what's happening? You're not seeing the same guy. You're not seeing the same results.
But I think this league is about to shift so heavy that 3 years from now, we're going to have 80% of the quarterbacks that are starting on a team will be less than 8 years in the league, 8 to 10 years in the league.
Yeah.
Less than. This is people aren't noticing. This is a real shift in the league, but I think that's an issue because the tenure for a quarterback is reducing in this league every year. The tenure for a quarterback is reducing drastically. And we never looked at it this way only because we've had the Roethlisbergers and Brady's and all of that who did it so long. But this new generation, they're not even – I mean, there is a gap there. Think about when Roethlisberger came in the league. Do you remember what year that was?
2005.
2005. I would say between 2005 and 2010 – between 2005 and 2010, what quarterbacks were they that are in the league right now? Think about it. How many quarterbacks are in the league right now starting that came in between 05 and 2010? We have a whole generation of quarterbacks in a 4-year time span that are kind of non-existent. Non-existent.
Yep.
I mean, you might have Russell Wilson. What year was he? He was between 05 and 10, right?
Yeah.
But when you really then nobody's noticing that, and they're not noticing why.
Russell came
why?
Tannehill, right?
Russell,
What's that?
Yeah, Russell was the Tannehill draft.
Tannehill.
Yeah. So it was 2012.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm wrong. Well, I'm still looking for the one between 2005 and
and TDP just alluded. What were the guys left over? The guys who are left over are the guys who had the big arms and the guys who kept working on their mechanics.
But that means we went through a 5-year period of everybody getting it wrong.
I don't know if they got it wrong.
But look at the names of like other than what Drew Brees, I think. And maybe Aaron Rodgers. Like a lot of those guys did have defenses. Like let's not forget that Pittsburgh's defense, like it's going to be stacked with Hall of Famers. So Big Ben, and then he had the bus, to hand the ball off to. Like I was saying last night, sometimes it comes into the situation that you're put into.
Yeah,
you may not be bad. But if everything around you is not up to par, it's going to show.
And you know what? And you know what, Finsanity? And a lot of people are so narrow-minded that they don't realize that there's two sides of the ball. And if you're drafted high and it doesn't work out and it's out of your control, and it's because it can be out of your control in this game. People don't get that. You're a pawn on the chessboard, man. So that's because this is chess, you know what I'm saying? So those guys are the first ones that get labeled the bus. Mm-hmm. You could be really good, have all the talent in the world, you get put in the worst situation, all the talent in the world most of the time can't overcome that.
Right.
Tannehill.
Palmer and them, they just ran into a great Baltimore defense.
No, listen, I'm saying Tannehill. Look at Tannehill, Miami.
Franco and them guys, Husman Zada, and you're telling me?
Oh man, I still say if Palmer never took that shot below the knee in that playoff run, I think they would have went deep that year, man, and it would have been a problem. But yeah, they never. That was their one shot, and that's how.
That was Tannehill's one shot in 2016 with us.
Tannehill.
Yeah,
and Tannehill had his running game, his offensive line, and just him, standing back there having a little bit of time, and he has some, and he was mobile. Miami had their greatest success.
Yeah.
And so once they started taking that away, or those players started going other places and leaving that organization and stuff like that, then you saw Tannehill struggle. I don't put it on Tannehill. I'll put it more so on probably his worst coach ever. And believe me, Joe Philbin was definitely garbage. But I don't think Adam Gase did him any favors.
No, Adam Gase is a fraud, man.
If you remember, okay, Jay Ajayi had that big year.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next year he came in and they're trying to run the ball, but he's getting stopped he's getting tackled 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Sound like Balazs.
And remember, Tannehill wasn't there because Tannehill got hurt. Mm-hmm. Right? So even with that, so then they said, you know what, we got to start getting rid of these pieces. We got to get rid of Jay Ajayi. They got rid of Williams and stuff like that. They got rid of the receivers. So it's not Tannehill's fault.
Oh, man, there's inept coaching and an inept organization around him.
Exactly. It's coaching, and then he's always playing with new players, new receivers. Look at all the receivers he went through. From Mike.
You know what, man? What a thing, and no one talks about this. One thing I liked about Tannehill is everyone in the media would knock his deep ball, but those who watched him, every year he worked so hard to get better at it, and you actually saw the progress. You saw the progress. And I'm telling you, one thing I'll never take away from Tannehill is, he has a very high football IQ, man. And if you have a very high football IQ, eventually you're gonna get it, and it can work. It's just how long it went.
Reason, let's go get Tannehill, man. Let's go get him.
He actually became one of the best throwers in the league. He actually became one of the best deep ball throwers in the league.
Yeah, man, he worked on that hard, and I give it. Remember, because he used to catch so much flack from Mike Wallace, and he worked on it, man. I can't take that away from him.
Why don't we just give up our 3 first-round picks, go grab Tannehill, and let's do this?
You know where we also went wrong. You know where we also went wrong too. We let a lot of good coaches go, a lot of guys who had the locker rooms and had the guys.
Should have kept Dan Campbell. Should have kept Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell,
why not?
Come on, and then you don't. What was the name the guy who went to the Jets? He was, I think, defensive coordinator. Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles.
You have a decent, productive defense. Yeah. And it's picking up. And as soon as it picks up, you kick the guy out who has it going. Come on. I agree. It's just so many.
Hold on. You talking about Dan Campbell?
No, he's talking about Bowles right now.
No, I know Todd Bowles, but I know people are mad about the Dan Campbell.
It's because he galvanized. Everyone liked how he galvanized.
Tennessee game. Come on, we all remember that Tennessee game. His first game.
But you know what? His problem was he really couldn't coach.
Yeah, he just was a motivator.
He was a galvanizer. Yeah,
he's a guy you want to keep on the staff, but
exactly.
But I do agree with the Bulls. I agree with the Bulls 110%.
Todd Bowles, he became the interim coach. And he actually messed it up for us with the luck and RG3 because Miami finished 6-3 after starting 0-7.
Yeah, that was stuck for luck, remember?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And he kind of threw that monkey wrench in, and that's how we got to these boys. Yeah.
And look at Tannehill. Look at the sack numbers, Tannehill. We still would have got the same thing with luck, man. This guy still would have got lit up, brother.
Man, people don't realize though, Tannehill had all those sacks, but still had just as many passing yards as Matt Ryan and Drew Brees in his and Peyton Manning, not Drew Brees, in his first 4 seasons.
Yeah, he did. So,
put that EM question up there. That's a good one.
What happened?
EM. He just asked a pretty good question.
Is it EM or his number 1 fan? Oh, that's EM. Okay.
That's number 1.
That reason, if we select Herbert, is your faith high enough in our staff to instill the necessary fundamentals and techniques for
I've never said he can't be great. What have I said? He's a 2-year project. I mean, that's it. I mean, I've always said prototypical size, elite athleticism, elite arm. Just inconsistency with intermediate passing, big time, 60% of his completion percentage, overall career completion percentage comes off bubble screens. Literally, that's not even a lie. That's a stat. And the Oregon offense wasn't that great because they were ran by their offensive, offensive line coach. So we haven't seen him fully let loose. But when we have seen, I have a write-up on him for our show coming up. And I praise, because there are times where you see elite deep touch from him. I've seen it. I've watched it. So you see, that's the biggest problem with him, man. You'll see this guy make a 40-yard bomb, and you're like, whoa. Or you'll see him make a tight window throw, 25, and you're like, whoa. And then you'll see him miss a freaking 8 or 10-yard out. The guy's wide open, and you're like, what the heck? What's going on right now? Or you'll see him like overthrow a slant, and you're like, and it gets picked by a linebacker, and you're like, what's going on right now? Like it's just like that's the inconsistencies you need to clean up.
Can you highlight Holden's comment where he says Herbert would be Tannehill 2.0? He won't, because he won't be coming into the same situation that Tannehill came into with no offensive line.
And he's way more athletic. Athletic.
You know what?
Tannehill had to be taught to run the ball and to get out the pocket.
Herbert's way more
athletic. Herbert already has it. Go look at the tape.
What was Tannehill? I'm trying to think. His receivers when he came in.
Yeah, but another knock on Herbert's athleticism, though, and the only thing you can really hit it with
Devon Best
is when you actually look at Herbert, when he's so athletic, but when you look at his accuracy numbers when he gets outside the pocket and he's on the run, his accuracy numbers on the run and outside the pocket are not good at all.
And the one receiver they could have helped him if they'd have kept him was Brandon Marshall.
Yeah.
They got rid of him just before they drafted Tannehill.
Well, but let me say this. I want to get back to this smoke screen and these this draft order, because I'm just intrigued by, because let me say this. Just for Herbert to come out and say, I have leverage, that confirms Burrow. Yeah, excuse me. That confirms to me that his camp does want him to get out of that situation. He's not the kid that really wants to do that, I don't think. But I think his camp is pushing for that. And it's real intriguing to me. And the reason why is it makes me nervous, because regardless of TD not wanting to at 5 or any quarterback, this and that, I do want a quarterback in this draft, though. I never said I didn't want a quarterback in this draft. And the only issue is I want one of those 4. Here's the problem with that. If they did all of a sudden say, I'm not dealing with this kid and go Herbert, that means everybody's trying to trade up for Burrow at number 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Herbert's gone. Somebody's trying to trade up to number 2 for Burrow. But if that happens, now it makes me feel like, okay, who was high on Herbert? And now are they going to be moving up to try to take Tua or Love early? Because if you have Herbert gone at 1 and whoever trades up to number 2 and gets Burrow, then what about those teams that wanted Herbert to begin with, like the Raiders? Wasn't it the Raiders that's high on Herbert?
Uh-huh.
No, it's the Chargers.
The Chargers. Would the Chargers then move up knowing that they have no succession plan? Would they then move up and say, hey, we need to get Love or Tua? And we're talking about the Chargers here already close to Hawaii with Tua.
Yeah, I've heard
that concerns me.
Tua is the other, like I've said all along, San Diego. I've said who worries me. You guys have asked who worries me, and I said I don't worry.
Yeah, that's why I was.
I worry about San Diego. I worry about San Diego, and I worry about Las Vegas the most, because when you go to Miami weekend, one thing he kept saying about Miami is he loves the weather, reminds him of Hawaii. The 2 other places you could arguably say that are Las Vegas and California. And like I've said before, Tua would be I feel like weapon-wise on both sides of the ball, we talked about this earlier with whatever quarterback we're talking about, that's an ideal situation. He just needs to literally sit back, let them build the O-line. But my problem is kind of what Vinsanity said earlier about the Bengals kind of leaks with me to the Chargers right now. I think they view Herbert, and why they want Herbert, because they see him as a day 1 starter. I think they see Cincinnati's taking Burrow, and they see Herbert possibly being their day 1 starter, and they view us as seeing Tua as the guy who sits on the bench. And that's why they would love to sit pretty and everything falls to them at 6. But I mean, they may be forced.
So they know he's not going to fall to 6 if he's there for us at 5. So they have to make the move, the Chargers.
Yeah, if Tua and Herbert are on the board, they're not going to.
Right? It depends if they get Brady, right?
Because
watch out for Teddy Bridge. Watch out for your
no, because you also have to ask yourself how many years is Brady going to do, even if they get him. They need the succession plan sitting behind Brady, even if that's the case.
What pick are they picking at?
I think you're going to see Miami move up to number 2.
Number 2? You think they're going to give the farm?
Yes.
Wow.
Because here's why I'm worried, and now I can understand that too. See, because we got to get. I want a quarterback at some point to compete at least, right? But I want one of the top 4. And if that scenario did play out that way, Herbert goes number 1, Burrow goes number 2 to somebody who trades up. Say it's not Miami. Let's just run down that road real quick. Number 3, the Chargers move up so that they can take Tua Tagovailoa. Then we got number 4 and 5, and it looks like at 5 we may be poised to get Love, but now the Raiders want to call the number 4 team and say let's make a deal, and they go get Love. What would happen with Miami if all 4 Oh wait, Chase Young's still on the board.
Miami has to do what the Dolphins does in water. They have to make a big splash. With all this real estate, with all these picks they have,
I think that's why they got all this. Sis.
They have to do it.
I think they put themselves in a position to get whoever they want.
Here's a scenario I got for you guys, and I know
we got a lot of holes though.
But listen,
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you. I think why they've accumulated this, and this was before the hip injury. Okay, let me preface this. I think they were putting themselves in a position to get whoever they wanted. More specifically, they were putting themselves in a position with 5 picks in the next 2 years where if Tua is healthy, they'll pay whatever they got to pay because he is their guy. That's what I think. And I don't think they're as sold on that because of the hip concern.
Miami messed up the draft, really.
They did. I agree.
Because Miami could have, just the one draft Miami could have controlled from top to bottom. If they'd had that number 1 pick.
Yep. Well, I don't think we were going to get the 1, but we should have got number 3.
No, but they could have got number 1. The way the way they started, they were projected to be the worst team ever. Uh-huh. The way they started, they just
what week did we trade Minka?
Week 3, right?
It was early.
Yeah.
But we were getting blown out in week 1 too, so they're probably like, so that's probably right. Yeah.
If Miami had that number 1 pick. And then wherever they had the other 2 picks, they'd have the number 1 in the second round. Miami could have actually traded that number 1 if they wanted to, and they could have just got everybody and said, you know what? If you want Burrow, you want Tua, you want Chase, come see us. And they could have really stocked up.
Hey, no, I'll tell y'all this. Let's be real. The Bengals, who have the number 1 pick, are in I don't even think nobody's talking about. If I would think about if the Miami Dolphins had the number 1 pick right now, you given the way that the board is set up, you should be able to turn a number 1 pick into about 7 first-round picks. I know that sounds crazy to people.
You're wild.
Let me explain.
Wow.
If you were, hold on, watch this. Follow me.
What you rolling up now?
If you were the number 1 pick, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'm listening. Yep.
You can call the first team who wants that quarterback at number 1 and get 2 to 3 first-round picks. Can you not? You see what I'm saying? Okay. If I'm number 1, and say the Lions are number 3, just hypothetically, right?
Okay, that's how.
They are. Okay, but do you want Joe Burrow, Lions? You see what I'm saying? Give me your number 3. Give me your future this, and give me your future that.
And then trade the 3.
Now I'm taking the number 3.
Yeah,
did you say you wanted Tua?
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
You say you want Tua? You're
basically saying manipulate the quarterback market in the draft.
In this draft right here.
That's what I was saying.
Every quarterback team. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Guys, I think, you know what? And I'm a Tua guy. And that's tape. I'm not in love with players. I don't fall in love with. I love the logo. I don't love the player on the back of the jersey. Well, there are some like Ricky and Marino, but you know what I'm saying here, okay? Especially with rookies. I don't do that, bro. You got to show and prove it. You know what I mean? But, bro, if the
Bengals were smart,
they would go Burrow if they had the 1 pick right now. I'm pretty sure they would.
Yeah, but if the Bengals were smart, I would trade number 1 with number 2 or 3 or something. Get more first rounders. Then I would take that number 2 or 3, trade them for a few more first. And then I would actually try to trade almost every pick the next year and then suck again.
So you know what I would do?
Go get Lawrence.
If I was them, I would draft Burrow. Okay, I wouldn't care what his camp's saying. I would draft Burrow. Then I would look who's number 2 on my list, right, in terms of guys, and I would go get my number 2 guy, which is Herbert, because he's probably going to be taken in the top 10, plus another draft pick. That's what I would do.
Man, that number 1 pick.
Because I guarantee you, like, at least 25 of the 32 teams, because of the durability issues, have Burrow as the number 1 guy.
But think about it. How many times does like a 5-11 record not get you a top 3 pick? Like,
buddy, hey,
crazy.
We're the Dolphins. We can't even lose, right? What do you want me to tell you?
Right. The Lions literally got injured at every single position at the right time, and it was just like Kerryon Johnson got hurt, Matthew Stafford got hurt. Then I think they had some wide receivers getting hurt and missing games. Like no lie, I literally looked up one day and I said, "How is the Lions in the top 5?"
Same with me. I was like, "What?" Oh.
They snuck their way into this.
Miami, but I know you want to win to bring in free agents because people want to see that you're committed to winning.
You have to, though. You have to.
So I can give them that.
And honestly, we should be lucky to be where we are. We could have won 3 more games.
Well, our one saving grace is like everyone in the NFL owns a house down here, and Flores showed that he's trying to instill a winning culture. So, I guess that's our saving grace for free agents.
We let Cincinnati fake try in our own stadium. That's what happened. Like we let Cincinnati come in there and fake try.
Like almost did it.
Remember, everyone was calling that the Tank Bowl.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's what it was.
Didn't they beat us?
No,
we beat them.
No, not Cincinnati. What trash team beat us? Was it Washington? Washington beat us by 1 point. That was that game. We could have won. People should be happy about that.
Yeah, there was like 2 or 3 games.
Imagine
we should have won that Steelers game. I don't care what happened in that second half. We should have won that freaking game.
It was going into the half. It was going into the half that when all the dominoes fell.
I'll do you one better. If Drake didn't fumble that ball in Dallas and Preston didn't drop that touchdown in the end zone, that could have been another W.
The Jets
but wasn't one of them actual touchdowns they didn't challenge it?
Yeah, that one, the Preston, they say he dropped it and they didn't challenge it. I ain't gonna lie, there was a lot of calls this year that Flores should have challenged that I thought could have got overturned.
And what was that game? What was that game we lost?
The Jets game with Needham with the pass interference.
Van Ginkel took them out of field goal range, and then Needham took the PI right after.
That was a long ride home.
We should be happy. Imagine if we were if we had 8 wins. And we were drafting in the teams. We wouldn't even be having half of these conversations.
We'd be talking about AJ Espinosa.
Man, and we'd be talking about, can we move up to the top 5? Do you think we can move up to 7?
Oh,
we talk about take number 19, 18, and number 20.
Can I ask you this? Let me put this out to the panel, okay? Let's say what I heard is true, okay? Let's say we got kind of balked at what Detroit's asking for right now. Okay, like I said before we went live, let me ask you all this now. We have the number 5 pick. So when you look at this draft, we got the best bargaining chip of anyone trying to move back behind Detroit because they got their quarterback in New York, so they're a non-factor. If we're balking at that and we got the number 5 pick, what do you think they're asking for a team like the Raiders in the teens, right? What do you think they're asking for a team in the 20s, like we talked about New England and Tua Tagovailoa? If we got the 5th and we're balking at what they're asking, those teams must be like, we got to mortgage like 3 drafts.
Right.
Or they can send a player.
Yeah, but look at I don't know, man. Like the reason why Tunsil got so much is because of how young he is, right? Like, and because I mean, he actually did end up grading out as one of the better pass blocking tackles in the league when it was all said and done. But I mean, this year, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that like Ramsey, I don't agree with it, but because of the age and because you know what I'm saying, like when we look at these teams,
Tunsil right was still on his rookie deal.
Okay, but when we talk about who these teams are looking at, what like the Chargers aren't going to give you Derwin James, they're not going to give you Joey Bosa. So who are they going to? You know what I'm saying? When we talk about the Panthers, they're not going to give you Christian McCaffrey. Who are they going to give you when we talk about their young receiving cores?
Yeah, you're right.
You know, like
the only teams that are. The only teams that'll be in play for a player that could send somebody worth it.
New England would have to send Gilmore. They'd have to be talking Gilmore, I think, to be in that conversation.
How old is Gilmore?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's probably not likely. Everybody else is probably balking, but that's why the Lions may actually just sit pat at 3 and draft. But the real thing is just who they're going to draft. Is it Okudah? Is it, that's all that matters is who they are going to draft. I just hope they don't play a game and say, you know what, we're not going to get Okudah. We're going to draft a quarterback just to hold him and see who really wants him. I think that they're going to play that game of making somebody sweat.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that Lions have leverage.
Yeah.
They have leverage because they're ahead of everybody else that wants that spot. We know Chase is probably going at number 2 unless Burrow falls to 2. And then that's traded. What's that?
Joe Miller says, what if the Bengals draft Chase?
I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they have to. They're gonna go QB.
They have to.
They're gonna go QB.
My only thing about the Detroit situation, from what I've heard, like if they're asking for that big of a haul, that shows me that they realize, hey, we got a whole bunch of holes. We want to fill them as soon as possible. And we need assets, not one asset. We need assets like right now. So yeah, I get the player thing too. But it sounds like they're hungry to move out. If you're asking me, it sounds like they realize, we need pieces right now.
Who is that?
Detroit. Like that's why when you said the player, I was like, yeah, man. Now we just got to identify players that make sense. That's why I said someone like Gilmore or something like that. But like I think that screams to me. We need assets and we want them right now. I'm asking for 4 first round, because do you know what they're saying? They're probably saying 5, 26, and 18, and we're probably saying, you know what, 26, but we're not coming off that 18. You know what I mean? Like that's probably what you're getting. That's probably where you're getting right now. They're not asking for we want a first next year or a first the year after. We want, probably all 3 of your first this year. Or at least 2 of those first this year, and a second this year, and then another high draft pick next year. And they're probably, come on, man.
I didn't know Gilmore was going to be 30.
Yeah,
he's 30.
There you go. Because you got to look at the Darius Slay situation. So if they could knock out that, right?
So with the Patriots giving up their first round pick and Gilmore and another first round pick next year, be good enough to grab Joe Burrow.
Sure, of course. I think that would be the only question.
I hate them. I
don't think. But the thing is Belichick the type that would do that?
I don't think he like early first round picks anyway. Yeah. So if it's for his quarterback, listen. If Tom Brady isn't going to be there, I know Belichick is ready to prove that it's not Tom Brady.
I agree. That's 100%.
So I think that if he had a chance to grab a kid who's poised and ready to come into the league and make plays and will protect them, the Patriots, that'll be, oh my gosh, that'll send shockwaves across the NFL. The Patriots move up to get Joe Burrow. Oh my gosh, I'll be so mad. It's hurting my head thinking about it.
That's what the Patriots do.
Now they got a guy who can run too.
Yeah,
my anxiety.
That's why I say he reminds me a little bit of Big Ben a little bit. When you look at his size, he's got a pretty good arm. Well, he doesn't have as strong of an arm, but you look at a lot of his traits, it's similar. But people forget, Ben almost rushed for like 300 yards one year. And that Burrow looks like he could rush for about 200 or 300 yards right now. It's that sneaky basketball athleticism, man.
What do you think about the quarterbacks because I know you were saying this before, but what do you think about the league going and the way your quarterback has to have some kind of mobility?
I just think that's a style thing. I don't think the league. See, people always say this is the direction the league is heading.
You can't tell.
I don't think. No, I don't think a league is heading in a specific direction. It's just people see something, and they think that's the prototype.
Well,
they think that's what it takes now.
No, I'm not saying that's what it takes, but look at the quarterbacks that we're even talking about now, and the quarterbacks that have come into the league. Actually, since 2012, the majority of those quarterbacks that have come in the league have been what? Quarterbacks that are mobile, quarterbacks that can run.
But we also haven't seen the sustainability within that group.
But you know what I think it is too, sis? I think it's when you look at the edges, you know what I mean? Like when you look at Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, now Chase, they're getting more athletic, they're getting faster. So I actually agree with you. I think we're going to get to a point where extending a play is a necessity when you're drafting a guy in the top 10.
I don't think that it's going to officially say that the league has transformed until we can see an era of guys do that in year 9, do that in year 10. You see what I'm saying?
Because you just said we got an 8 to 10 year now shelf life. It looks like, right?
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. Think about it. The first set of guys that came in mobile was during that time, and almost all of them are gone.
Even Vic,
remember,
even Vic had to become more of even Vic had to become more of a pocket passer near the end there in the Eagles and stuff, right?
Think about the first wave of mobile quarterbacks that came in a group. I ain't talking about one here and one there. We're talking about RG3, Kaepernick, even Cam Newton is a part of that. Tannehill. I mean, all these Tannehill, all of these guys came in as having a mobile feature to them. But do you see the result from it outside of Russell Wilson?
Yeah, that's just your system. I think it can flourish, and I think a lot of teams are looking at that now because, like you said, your ends, your tackles, your defense, you got to get out of the pocket, you got to be able to move, you got to extend plays now. You see the Tom Brady's and the Patriots and the Manning brothers and stuff like that, guys that kind of just sat in that pocket. It's almost like a dinosaur now. Unless
you can invest in an old line that can protect them.
You watch the Bills, right? We play them, right? So you see the Bills. We can all on this panel agree that Josh Allen has a big arm, but he's got serious accuracy issues sometimes at the worst of times. But what does he make up with it for? Why were they a playoff team? Because he extended plays and he did exactly.
And here's the problem that you come into that. Let me tell you the problem the league is gonna run into. If we do transition 100% fully into that's one attribute you gotta have is being mobile, being able to escape, right? Mm-hmm. Here's where the league is gonna mess up with that. Teams are going to start evaluating a player's all-around picture and using their mobility as a major factor. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to have a guy who's rated a 7 out of 10 with his pure quarterback, without running, pure quarterback talent. But those feet and those legs put him at a 9, right? And he's a high commodity. But what happens when his legs are no longer the same? And he has to be a pocket passer.
He's gone.
Yeah. And that's what's happened to the last group of quarterbacks.
You're going to see now because back in the day, they I couldn't even say back in the day because they never protected like Marino's era. But once Tom Brady got hurt, they kind of put that little protection on the quarterback. You can't hit him low, you can't hit him high and stuff like that. But now once you start seeing the quarterbacks, because now they say, okay, they can get out the pocket, so now they're runners. Mm-hmm. That's not going to last because you're going to get hurt. But if you look at the quarterbacks that are coming out just this year, the top quarterbacks that are coming out this year, even Herbert, I saw him and he can run. Mm-hmm. Those guys are mobile.
He's very athletic. He's got like borderline elite athleticism.
When you think about it, name me a quarterback that's coming out. Burrow, mobile. Tua, mobile.
Look at Herbert in the Wisconsin game.
All it takes is one hit, and you're in a knee brace for the rest of your career.
But that can happen if you're just sitting in the pocket.
That's true, but which one has the higher probability?
Of course.
But that's why. But also, Cease, it can happen if you're in the pocket. But the thing is, when you heal, you can sit there and stay in the pocket. But when you're a mobile quarterback, when you're I think let me explain. If you're mobile versus non-mobile, if you're mobile and you're getting out in a lot of your game, like Josh Allen, making up for it with your legs. Now, if you force Josh Allen to be primarily a pocket passer only because you can no longer use your legs because of the abuse that you've taken on him, and now you have to be able to beat teams only in the pocket, that's where the problem comes. But that pocket quarterback, if he gets that same leg injury, when he's healed, he's right back in the pocket. Nothing changes for him. He's doing what he does best. See, what teams are going to start to do is look for those mobile guys to make up for what you don't do in the pocket. But what happens if you're restricted to the pocket? That's where the issues are going to come.
Well, like I knock Herbert all the time, but go look at the Rose Bowl film, right? Like, go look at that, brother. He was 14 of 20 for 138 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick in the air. But why did they win? 9 rushes for 29 yards and 3 touchdowns, and those touchdowns came in the red zone, right? Like, he was able to maneuver, and that's why they won. But if you take a brother, he's going to be against way faster, way more athletic, and there's going to be games. We saw it happen with Lamar Jackson 2 years in a row where they're going to force you to beat them with the pass. And if you ain't got that, brother, we're at a different level, man.
Who was the four top quarterbacks in Marino's era? Montana, Marino, Elway, Kelly, right?
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Who was the one person out of those 4 that couldn't move? I mean, he was quick in the pocket.
Elway.
Huh? Elway? No. That couldn't move.
What do you mean? Right? Are you talking about like mobile?
Elway can run.
Yeah.
Elway could run. Kelly could run.
Marino
could run. The one that couldn't run was Marino.
It was Marino. Right? Yeah. Oh, I thought you said who could run. I thought you said who could run.
Marino was quick. Had quick feet in the pocket.
Marino was the least mobile by far.
But even back then, and you see Montana when we played them in the Super Bowl, Montana beat us with his legs. There was times when we played Jim Kelly and AFC championships and just Buffalo beat us with his legs. Same thing with John Elway. And I'm just saying,
Super Bowl. Mahomes in the Super Bowl kept them alive with his legs.
Yeah. Oh man! Listen, Mahomes. Let's be honest. Mahomes is rolling out at times where he didn't even have to. I mean, I'm just saying.
Get that receiver open. He's extending the play so that receiver can come open.
Chessboard. So if your defensive ends are coming here and out.
It was smart. It was smart. I actually liked it. It was smart because like what Mahomes did that was smart in the game is he'll hike the ball. He'll sit back there and have 5 seconds and nobody's coming towards him, but he sees a whole empty left side of the field. Let me run this way so that just in case the pressure does start to come, I'm still so far away from it. Like I got to open. He also creates time, so I like that.
I just before I forget, when we're talking about these guys getting older, especially with the mobile or the run first guys, I was talking a little bit about Breeze. I was talking about Tom Brady when we were talking about the people left over from the era. The difference between them and those guys, and the reason why they're continuing to last in their 40s is their mechanics. When you're a mobile quarterback, as you get older and as you grow and develop in the league, your mechanics become way, way, way more important too, because you're going to take those hits. As you get older, you're going to lose your legs. So if you're not willing to put in that work and develop yourself, I mean, you did it yourself once your legs run out to you, man. Like if you don't have that mindset to get ahead of the curve of that, man, some people, and you get it with arm, right? You get it with arms just like you get it with athleticism. Some people trust in it too much, man. It gets them this far. It carries them through their 20s when you're still able to heal up real nicely. But once you get into the 30s and when those hits, you start feeling them for twice the amount of days as you used to.
Michael Vick.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Michael Vick, people don't give him enough credit, man. That guy worked on his pocket game way more as he got older, you know, and maybe Andy Reid helped him out, right? Because I love Andy Reid, but he worked, man, and he became better at it. You know, you even saw when he went to the Jets, right? Yeah. So
just a thought.
Man.
Like, that's what I think. That's why I think Russell Wilson, guys. That's why I think you're going to see Russell Wilson be one of those guys get up there because, yeah, he may be short, but that's a guy you can see. He's gotten way – man, if you look at year one to where he is now, his pocket presence is, like, way better, man. Way better. You know what I mean? Like, if you give him that ball nowadays, I think he's making that I think he's making a different decision, and he's a whole different quarterback on that slant route, and I don't think he's throwing that pick, and I think they're winning. They should have given it to Marshawn anyways, but I'm just saying he's become a better passer, man, and you can't knock it. He's worked on it too, and you've seen the development and the growth, and that's what you need.
Tannehill.
Listen,
agreed.
There's one thing on my mind.
Tannehill was the best. Tannehill was the best quarterback throwing on the run. When he got out of the pocket and extended plays and whatnot, he was the most accurate. And he threw the ball. He actually threw the ball better coming out of the pocket and rolling out of the pocket and extending plays than when he sat in that pocket.
Oh, guys, just have it.
Tannehill the GOAT, that's why. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all, like, our conversation got me nervous about the Patriots now.
Don't get nervous. You control.
No, because listen. Do y'all realize what that would do to the Patriots if they traded away their first pick and they brought Burrow in? Not only are they only going to be they're going to be that's going to be a pay cut to pay Burrow with the number one pick, and then they get off of Gilmore's contract too to put more weapons around them
because that
and more protection.
That would be the Dolphins being stupid and letting them do that. Because
they better put X on the board in 2 first-round picks.
Miami don't have to put anybody on the board. They got the draft capital.
Yeah, but again, man, we keep talking about draft capital. Do you know what we have to give up to go to number one?
You know what? But that's why
all 3 first-round picks and probably got to add 2 seconds.
That's why they should have lost those games and they wouldn't have to worry. So now they have to pay for it.
Hey, we don't tank around here.
Someone said it's just not the Patriot way. Well, had Sony Michel not looked horrible this season, you could have sold me on that. But
what's not the Patriot way?
I guess trading their draft pick to go out and get a quarterback, but they
whoever said that is missing this. It is the Patriots way because the Patriots' number one goal is to save money while getting better. If they traded that pick up for Burrow, first of all, they get a quarterback and they letting Brady go. What they pay Burrow is going to be less than what they were going to pay Brady. That's saving money. And they get off of Gilmore's contract as he gets older. And they get off of that contract. Do you know how much Gilmore is making? And they get off of that contract. They're at least netting an additional $20 million a year from making a deal and getting their future quarterback in the process. That's the Patriots.
You know what's crazy, sis, about you? Because I agree with you with what you said about Tannehill when he gets outside the pocket, right? You know, and I know you've probably heard it out there. You know, the comparisons. Oh, Herbert is Tannehill. You know, and you just heard me kind of knocking him. You know, he's a great athlete, but when he gets outside the pocket, I just looked it up for you, brother. When this guy, when he's outside the pocket, his passing grade, Herbert. His passing grade in college is 44.9. When he has no pressure, he's a 90.3. When he has pressure, he's a 46.6.
Yeah, that ain't Tannehill like.
Okay. Yeah. You know, his deep grade. He's not even in the 80s. So, you know, and that's something that we talked about Tannehill worked at. You know what I mean? So I see actually when I see the floor for Herbert to me is Derek Anderson, and I see, you know, possibly like a Kirk Cousins being the ceiling for a guy like that.
Here's the great thing about it. Hold up. Miami's going to have, 2 big outside receivers for whoever comes in. And what quarterback have we given that? It's been a very long time. And they're no slouching, getting down the field. And, I think the smartest thing that, Fitz did was he was letting, Parker high point these balls finally. Like, You're letting the man finally use his side. You're letting him do what got him in the first round out of Louisville.
Yep.
Instead of trying to throw these back shoulder throws to him, let him go up and get it over everybody.
Agreed.
Like his adjustment, his in the air adjustment is spectacular. And then if Preston, oh my God, if Preston can get it together,
I love it.
And that's why I was big on going to get a big slot guy, because then you can just move them all around like chess pieces. You don't have to say, "Oh, I'm small here." And just move them around and find the matchup that works all day and all night for you, and milk it like a pro cow or something. I don't know.
Oh, I know who Finsanity wants for our slot. She wants Henry Ruggs.
But the game he played slot against the Patriots, he played good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Finsanity. If Henry Ruggs is on the board at 18, are you taking him?
No.
No, we have defensive needs.
Isaiah Ford played good against the Patriots in the slot.
Yeah,
he did.
So would you be opposed to putting a 5'11" guy in the slot then? Is that too small for you?
Listen, if you're good in the slot, I mean, Wes Welker.
What if he has? What if he has?
To me, it doesn't matter about your size. It's about your ability, and can you take those?
Okay, hold on. What if he has really good hands and he can run between a 4.2 and a 4.3?
Listen, if you're in the slot, you gotta have grit.
I think we got it.
Yeah, we do. I think we're set. I think at the receiver position,
I think Albert's gone.
We're content.
That's my issue. I think Albert's gone.
I was saying
Albert's gonna restructure that deal, man.
If you could have gotten Anderson for a decent price.
Robbie Anderson?
Yeah, for a decent price. He can play the outside and he can play the slot. So that's who I was naming. But for a decent and right price.
Yeah.
But my thing is like this. I'm the type of person, Gesicki's coming on, and I like, seeing his development and his hunger to actually get the ball and bring it in, especially, on the back part of the what's the name. So we're going to be okay.
Isaiah Ford.
We don't need
Robbie Anderson.
The whole thing with Gesicki, Isaiah Ford is fine with me too.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Gesicki that I thought was unfair to Gesicki is people act like his first year he was even getting the necessary targets.
No, you know what the problem was? I'll tell you right now, TD, and this is why I hate doing comps and I despise it. Like, dude, how many times when we drafted him did we hear, oh, he just needs to get his blocking right and he's got Gronkowski like receiving set. And I was like reading it everywhere and I was like, man, all you're doing is hyping these people up so they expect like, the second coming, right? And like I think we still actually need to get another tight end. I would like a guy with hands.
I agree. And I would also like a double tight end set.
I agree. I would like to run that too.
So that we can have a better blocking scheme as well. And you can give the linebackers more to worry about and that'll allow the run game to open up more as well. Run a double tight end set, 7 guys on the O-line.
Yep.
And if it's a pass play, just have one of them tight ends running his route off of that line. Make it wide.
Take him back to the Hernandez and Gronk days, brother.
Yeah, and then the quarterback has more options whenever he's trying to make a decision in the pocket. Yep. He has more. Also, even from a protection standpoint, he has a better time assessing where the pressure is coming from. He can go to that line of scrimmage if he sees a guy uncover, and he can literally say, "I don't know if he's coming or not, but let this guy know." At least chip him.
Yeah, check him.
Something, But I just don't understand how we don't make things easier for our QBs in those regards. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
To Jason Wood, Carew got released, correct? He didn't get put on the practice squad. I think Carew got released last year because we kept bringing in all these wide receivers and he got beat out.
Yeah. So, he's not around.
But Thaddeus, where's Thaddeus Moss projected? Reason? Do you know what round?
He's gonna be mid there. He's gonna be there mid. He's not even like here. I'll put you up right now. Where I got him I actually have my tight end rankings up, man. I got him. Yeah, I got him sitting at 7th.
Okay.
So I think you're gonna see guys like Cole Kmet, Adam Trotman, Harrison Bryant. Hunter Bryant, they're going to go first. You might even possibly see Bryson Hopkins get up there. And then that's where you're going to see Thaddeus Moss possibly. Because you notice, he good hands, but once he got into open field, he really didn't have that big-time breakaway speed, right? So...
But he can block in the running game.
Who is Laviska Shenault?
Ran on his side a lot.
Laviska Shenault is a receiver from Colorado.
I don't know why I'm not familiar with him.
Really good, man. He's really good. He runs really good routes, and he's pretty fast. He's good. He's got pretty good hands too, man. He's up there.
Mims not available this year?
Denzel Mims?
Yeah, is he not available this year?
No, Denzel Mims is out. He had a huge Senior Bowl. Put himself on a lot of people's maps at the Senior Bowl. Yeah, he's out. He's out this year.
That's an interesting. To see where he is up because he's big and he's fast.
Yeah, mine would be right now. I got Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb 1A, 1B, and then I would go Ruggs, Higgins. I'd go Ruggs, Higgins, Rager, and then Shenault. And then I got Brandon Ayuk from Arizona State and Justin Jefferson. And then a guy who came onto people's KJ Hamler from Penn State. And, I'm telling you right now, I took him in that mock I did, TD. The sleeper of this draft, brother.
At what position? The receiver?
Yeah, man.
Who is that?
Guy is a sleeper. Tyler Johnson from Minnesota. Watch out, man. This guy's gonna be there in the 5th or 6th potentially, and unless he blows up the combine, this guy could be the real deal when you come back in terms of sleepers of this draft.
There's a lot of big receivers coming out this year.
Yeah, it's very, very deep.
Teams are just gonna get more physical.
I'm telling you about Tyler Johnson. I've seen him rank in the late in the late 20s on people's big boards. I'm like, what are you saying? He's top 10, easy. Another person who put himself on a lot of people's is Claypool out of Notre Dame. He had a huge Senior Bowl. So the receivers there's some decent ones in the Senior Bowl that put themselves on people's maps.
Quick break, real quick. Shout out to Jesse Williams. Shout out to Carnell with the donation on the PayPal. I don't know what's going on with the link, homie. I put it in the comment section. It's not working. Maybe try it. I don't know. Well, I have your phone number, so I'll try to send it to you in a text message. See if it works that way, because sometimes it works in the text, sometimes it works on the computer. Shout out to Daniel D with the donation just now. In a few mocks, we're Andrew Thomas dropping to 18. Get him. That might be actually a real situation where we do get him at 18, because his stock is falling. I can't believe his stock is falling the way it is, with some of the scouts and stuff. They aren't ranking him as high. So that's I would like the talent though, regardless, with the Dolphins. So if Andrew Thomas falls at 18, I'm down for it. But I'm still adamant that in that oh my gosh, when are we gonna get a pass rusher? We can't miss on the pass rusher in free agency, guys, because I just don't see where this draft is really shaping up for us to go get a pass rusher in the first round.
And you know what?
Y'all may disagree, but oh my gosh.
Someone asked me earlier, they said, how long would it take to build a Super Bowl caliber defense? And it starts with being able to send 4 and get to the quarterback. So it depends how long it takes you to get, that right set of 4 and to get pressure. And to stop the run game, in honor of EM Dolphin fan, who is not here, because I'm pretty sure if he was on here right now, he would be screaming, you got to stop the run game, which is kind of like a redundant statement. But, you do have to be able on 3rd down, when it's 3rd and long or 3rd and medium, get to that quarterback.
See, I told you guys, you just put this up on I just saw this pop up, the Andrew Thomas thing. I was saying this last week before these mocks were coming out, that from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, and from the tape at the end of his season, it was looking like guard was more as a possibility. And now I just see Daniel D's comment about where he's dropping to 18, right? So this really has become
in the mocks.
Yeah, because it's become a serious issue. So he's really had problems with athletic guys over the edge. A guy who, I remember how big Esteban and and Finsanity were on the Derek Brown when we started doing the mocks. And I just think, like, if we're sitting at 18, a guy that no one's talking about who could be there is Javon Kinlaw. And I mean, that's you get a guy like that, and you automatically have someone who's gonna you plop him in there, and he's gonna really help that interior, and he's gonna, I know if we miss out on a guy like Michael Pierce or someone that we think can plug the holes for the run, Javon Kinlaw is gonna be, that's almost an ideal guy because he's really closed the gap between him and Derek Brown, right? So I think that's a serious possibility when you start getting to the middle of the first two. If, because like I said before, I think there's going to be a run on tackles. I think you're going to see Jedrick Wills, Mekhi Becton. You're going to see Tristan Wirfs, and you're possibly going to see Andrew Thomas all go before 15. So I think that's when you're going to have to look into either that edge, because if you're going to ask me, I love Clavon Chason from LSU, but if you're going to ask me who I want, Javon Kinlaw in my interior or a guy like Chason, I'm going to take Kinlaw all day, right? I mean, the guy's just an animal.
Yeah, that's the reason why I was big on, because I remember when I was saying that, and I believe me and Esteban, it was, do we go out and get Christian, his buddy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we were also doing that with the foresight that we were going to fix our offensive line in free agency, right? Yeah. So, and at the time we didn't know where our stance was on Tua, but at the end of the day, you draft a young guy, Christian Wilkins, and he's bringing that attitude and that personality. He can't do it by himself. He's getting doubled. You got to get someone else on there. And I mean, we can get some defensive ends and free agency, all that, but once we see where we're at after free agency, I'm pretty sure all of us together are going to put up a spectacular mock draft, and people are going to be looking like that's a team that I want to see, next year. Like right now, it's so many question marks of what holes are we going to fill, because, we keep beating this dead horse. There are vast holes that we do need to fill. So I'm always, going to go on the side, because I see that our division is becoming a very pass division. When you bring in, Sam Darnold, and you got Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And I need big guys in the middle, because they also have Devin Singletary and Le'Veon Bell. And Le'Veon Bell is one of the most patient runners known to man. And if you do not get him, you will look up and he's already past your linebackers in a matter of 3 seconds. Like, how did that happen so fast but so slow?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm cool with us getting peers, as EM says, as long as we get someone to help complement this young guy that we have. Don't throw him in there and then you say, oh, go out there and produce, but there's no one out there to help him. You feel me? That's all I'm saying.
I think my thing is when you get to 18, it now becomes your needs and best player available at all those needs, right?
Right.
And like someone said in the comments that Dallas is going to take Kinlaw first. No doubt. What's the one thing Dallas is missing? They're going to take a safety. You know what I mean? I think Xavier McKinney is your boy from Alabama. That's a perfect guy that might go there to Dallas, because of Grant Delpit's tackling issues that have become a serious issue. I hope we don't get Delpit, because I want someone who can tackle. Like I said, I want Ashton Davis from Cal. And what did we do? We went out and we got the Cal's DB coach. So I think Ashton Davis at the top of the second, that's a realistic thing. And that guy's going to be your anchor back there for a long time. But yeah, I think
he's going to be available then.
Yeah, top of the second is going to be there. I think, and another thing is I went and I started diving in a little bit of the tape on Antoine Winfield. Because you know what DM didn't tell us about, and I put him on to? Go watch this guy as a returner.
Oh, you didn't listen.
He didn't tell me this. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about, bro? I watch his film. I'm like, yo, bro,
you gotta get the kid is undersized, but he's different. He's undersized, but he had Minnesota.
Yo, I watched like two Minnesota games, and the only film I watched on Minnesota really was for Tyler Johnson. So I go back I'm like, okay, I'll dive into this Winfield. I'm like, the first thing that starts blowing out of my face, I'm like, yo, this guy's an elite possible returner too, bro.
If Minnesota had a competent quarterback, they could have made a lot more noise.
He is his dad. Finsanity, he is his dad. I'm convinced he is his dad.
But when I said these things, when me and Ian said these things, everybody, well, what's his size? I'm telling you.
Oh, I don't care about that.
you just got to get guys who can play and ball.
Zach Thomas, man. Zach Thomas. Was he an all deal size in that era? Probably not. But guess what? He made it the way for guys like Urlacher, right, to get drafted higher. So
I just like that. Could you imagine, like, with all the athleticism that these guys have now, if they were able to play like Brian Dawkins and them played?
Yeah.
Oh,
and he you know what? That guy can light people's lamp like Dawkins too. That's I see man. I don't know, man. I like
so next year we might have Wingfield and Needham out there starting, huh?
Listen, if we get Wingfield,
I'm
getting a Wingfield jersey first. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it's kind of on the defensive side of the ball, but he is going to flash on our screen in ways that.
Man, I'm down for them drafting 2 good corners as far as I care.
Hold up. Someone had a question.
I want to address.
Well, he's primarily a safety.
Can you scroll up, TD? Someone had. I think it was Anthony Manzano. He was talking about the personality of a quarterback, because I know he's been putting this question in a lot, and I don't want him to have to just keep. AM, you are so right.
Yeah. Ashton Davis or him, I'm down. Let's go.
Yeah.
If McKinney slips to us, I'll take that too, because I like that.
Loudon Brash. You think Brady's quiet and reserved? That's the first one, because Brady's in your face.
Man, listen, I don't care what quarterback is in Miami, as long as they winning. I don't care if you loud, brash, quiet, or reserved. It don't matter. And as far as I care, a personality fit. I don't believe in a such thing as a personality fit. Are you a leader? Because you got loud, brash, quiet, and reserved leaders. Are you helping your team win games? Are you pouting? Are you this and that and this? So my answer would be, I don't care either one of them that they are. They could be any one of those, long as you're winning and you're a leader and you're leading by example as well.
Yeah, and
getting it done.
And you galvanize your team.
It galvanizes the team. So you could be loud, you could be brash, or you could be quiet, or you could be reserved. But as long as you're still uplifting the others around you, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I don't know, but if we got one of those 2 safeties and we got the guy I keep telling you about from TCU, Jeff Gladney at corner, oh my God.
Man, give me 2 corners and one. Give me 2 corners and 1 safety.
You see how I'm lining up now? You're talking about my side.
So how deep are we going with the corners?
I want 2 corners and 1 safety in the draft if I can. Well, not 2 in the draft because we can get 1 in free agency, but I just have 2 new good corners on the roster and a safety.
So safety, like I've said, give me Ashton Davis or
I'll take it,
or Winfield or McKinney.
I'll take it.
McKinney.
I'll take all of them.
I'm down for all that. For corners, you know what? I really like Christian Fulton, but he's gonna be gone.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Jeff
Gladney. You could get in the second, and another guy who might be there late second, early third, who I like from Clemson is AJ Terrell. The problem with that is you're like, if I go those 3 picks, you know what I mean? You're investing, probably
a lot.
You're investing your 2 seconds and your 2 third, right? So that's where you're going to have to get into into sleepers and stuff like that and mid-round guys.
And I don't like that because we need to put some type of investment in the second round in a guard or something.
You need to get Gladney, man. I'm telling you, like, he is a first round talent, and he's gonna be there in the second, man.
So are we taking a running back with our last first round pick?
I don't think they are, but I would. I think they might do first, second pick. It just depends. If they get out of 4 picks and don't have a running back. That I'm gonna tell you now, they're fine with Balash. They just and they feel like, and that doesn't mean they're not gonna go in the 3rd or 4th or 5th and get a running back, but we also got free agents.
So
what they do with that.
So let's say we took Gladney in the second. When would be comfortable for you taking another corner?
Who, me?
Yeah, as a GM.
It depends. Did we get one in free agency?
Okay, we didn't.
Honestly,
and we still have X and Needham. Would you take it? Would you even take another corner?
Did we get our safety yet?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just saying we get our safety with another pick. So we get a safety in a corner, our two of the 5 picks before we get to 60. Okay. So, and we're gonna get would you get another corner at all? And if so, what round?
I'll stop right there unless I find somebody that's developmental late. I would stop right there. Because we still got a lot of interchangeable guys.
You wouldn't invest like a fifth? No fifth?
Dad, are you leaving?
Yeah, I gotta say good night to y'all. I gotta go to bed.
All right. Well, good night. Thanks for coming through for us, man.
Thanks for having me, y'all. I appreciate it.
Great job.
Night,
as always.
All right.
I would have to say, yeah, I wouldn't reason. Okay. Because again, if we're doing all of that capital on defense early, we haven't done much work on the O-line. And if we're going to relegate all our 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, 7th round picks to the O-line, then we're going to have to double up just to be safe, to try, and rotate guys and see who's going to.
I'm assuming we took one in the first is what I'm assuming. That's why I'm sticking to like 2nd and 3rd, right? Gladney being our, I would say get Gladney with that 1st, 2nd pick, you know what I mean? And I mean, if in the 5th or 6th, I wouldn't be totally opposed to them taking a flyer on a guy, right?
Yeah.
So, because we got 13 picks, right? You know what I mean? So, and there's there's guys like Troy Pride. He blew up the Senior Bowl, and he could be there. There's that guy from Mississippi State who you saw in my mock that I took late, Cameron Dantzler. He's going to be there, right? So, there, Bryce Hall, who even me and Ballgame were high on earlier, and then as the year progressed, he kind of slipped. That's another. And a lot of people had him in their top 5 at the beginning of the year, and he slipped down to people's 15s and stuff. But I still like what I've seen from his tape before this year. So that's a guy who I think you could be sneaking that guy in the 5th or the 6th. You know what I mean? And that could end up being a guy who's a 1st round talent when it's all said and done.
But this is why this is why I don't want to move up, because I want to have these options. Because if we moved up, all of that goes away. All of that potential of doing this and doing that goes away, bro. Now we're limited. See, people don't realize if we move up to 1, 2, or 3, we go from 14 draft picks to possibly 9 or 10.
Oh, we're assuming we're moving up too, eh? Okay.
Yeah. So those 9 picks may still seem like, it's still more than what, but man.
Peace out, EM.
Oh, EM out of here?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. You're saying you're assuming we're moving up too, and yeah, okay.
If we moved up.
Yeah.
We got to give up a lot of that, and people don't realize we still got a lot of holes, man. We got to fill.
My just thing is why I wouldn't mind that is because not only do we have 13 picks, is because we don't know how this X situation is going to play out too, right? So we could say X Needham and whomever we take in the 2nd, whether it be Gladney or whatever, that we got our top 3, right? We're locked in, like Ballgame always says, you need at least 3, right? We got our 3 guys, right? The problem is we don't know how this X situation is going to play out. That's why I'm not opposed to waste, when you got 13 draft picks, I don't want to say wasting, you know what I mean? But that's why I'm not opposed to using one of those 13 assets on a guy in the 5th or the 6th. You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah, I'm with it.
So it's just that's what worries me is X, brother. I don't know how that's going to work out, man, and that scares me because he's our best player, man.
I have a question because we're bringing in all these cornerbacks, right? When do we move off of Bobby?
Oh, don't worry, your guy with the smile.
No. Why do you guys always make it about a smile?
You should have never said it that one time.
Listen, he has the best smile on the team, by far.
I mean, honestly,
but I'm saying literally, realistically. Sorry.
That depends, Finsanity, because it depends on if they put him in a solidified role this year that is going to be to his strengths. Because you never know, they might move Bobby back in the slot and all is well, and we can keep on doing what we do. Bobby's going to be on this roster this year. The out is until next year. They do have an out, which is next year. It's only a $1.5 million cap hit next year, dead cap. That's nothing compared to the 6.4 we're going to have to pay him. So again, if they put him in a nickel and he thrives in a nickel, I don't see why they're going to need to move off of him. I mean, Bobby might make it through his entire contract if he plays well in the nickel or wherever they put him. But I don't want Bobby. Bobby played well early in the season at the safety, and then it all just went downhill. I mean, I didn't like it. I mean, y'all may have a different opinion about it. Y'all can let us know, though. And let's not forget, didn't Bobby get hurt? He was placed on IR. Yeah. That's not a good look either. He's on this roster this year unless he's traded, by the way. Because, I mean, dead cap would be 5.2 million and he's making 5.5.
That's what I'm
he's
getting.
He's on the roster. So he's gonna be in camp. He's going to be fighting for whatever role they want him in. He's making money. So Bobby, he could either ball or tell us next year we don't want you anymore. But this is a Bobby season, and Bobby knows it. Bobby still has 3 years on his contract, but this is a contract year for Bobby. Because if he balls out, okay, we'll keep you. We won't just cut you since we can. If you don't ball out, easy cut the following season. So I personally feel we're going to get the best of Bobby. It just depends on if it's at the safety. I don't think the best of Bobby is enough. If it's at the nickel, the best of Bobby, hey, I'm good with that. So just depends.
Do you think he has trade value right now?
Coming fresh off of an IR? No. And making decent money at the position? No. Yeah. I mean, $5.5 million coming off of IR at that position, which is package specific in the nickel.
So what you're saying is that we stuck with him
this year. We are, and I don't look at Bobby as that being a bad thing. I like Bobby, but I liked him for what we paid him for the nickel.
Listen, if there's one person I know will sacrifice their body,
here we go.
It's Bobby. Go back. Listen, go back to that play where he got that tackle on Jordy Nelson against the Raiders. Next play, X gets the interception. We don't look at the plays that led up to it because whoever was on Jordy got beat and Bobby came across, got hurt, was down, injured, but no one wants to say how he sacrificed himself. And in the next play, we win the game on an X interception, but we always talk about X's interception, but never about Bobby's sacrifice. That man has sacrificed a lot for this team and for this franchise. You know?
We're going to package him with Charles Harris and trade him for a bag of footballs.
Hey, listen, I'm for that. As long as it comes with like a hands machine, like a jug machine to send those footballs through.
Real talk, yeah.
Did someone say I'm in love with Bobby? I'm not in love with Bobby. I'm not. I am critical on everyone. And I will be the first time, person, if we can trade Bobby and get assets and get younger, Bobby, I love you. Your jersey will forever be framed one day.
Yeah.
Can I ask Insanity a question?
You can ask me anything.
Okay.
Almost. If
he's healthy, in your opinion, who's better? Okay. It doesn't matter what team you're for. You're the GM. You're in the number one spot. Tua's totally healthy. Who are you taking, Tua or Joe Burrow? And your quarterback needy team. That's all you need to win a Super Bowl.
And Tua's healthy?
Yeah.
Tua.
So it's not even close for you, eh?
Listen,
if he's healthy.
Listen, you know how I feel about Tua. The man came all the way from Hawaii to probably the best program, one of the best programs in the nation, a program that wasn't even known for throwing the ball, and made them change it. You feel me? Think about all the guys the quarterbacks who had Ridley and Julio and all those great guys, and they still weren't a pass first team. But then you bring in a guy like Tua, And now you got guys like Jerry Jeudy and all them, Henry Ruggs. You could have had 3 first-round wide receivers just because of this man's unbelievable talent. I think people, say, well, what he had around him and all that. He beat out a nation for that starting position. You feel me? Yeah. And then he did it with such class and poise. And you know what? The man is a fighter. Anytime you come back twice from an injury early and you go out there and you still perform at an elite level, like, you got to give it to this man. If he's able to be on that field, you know he's going to be on that field for you. I was just watching Miracle today. I don't know why. I like Disney Plus. I was watching the movie Miracle, and the coach comes in and he, asks the guy, "Are you a hockey player?" Because he's sitting there because he has a bruised thigh. Yeah, and he doesn't want to get back on that ice. Oh, yeah. Well, you don't have to worry about that with Tua. If Tua can go out there and be productive, he's going to be out there. The man has impeccable touch, impeccable timing. Yeah. If you were like to really look at it, and then people don't realize he is mobile. He can run. Oh, yeah. He does get, rushing touchdowns. Like, he can do it in so many ways for you when he was healthy. I don't know what he is going to be, but I'm telling you, if he can come back and be Tua Tagovailoa, it's not even close, especially with our big wide receivers. Yeah. Can you imagine him like perfectly like dropping those balls in our receivers' hands while they're on the run? Yeah. You look at all these other guys and their wide receivers have to slow up to track that ball down. Tua's like, just keep going. Don't slow down. Don't lose your stride. Don't trip up. It will be there. Just keep your hands out. It will fall. Don't drop it. And somebody say he's not mobile. Go look at Tua. Like, if you don't think he's mobile, go look at him when he gets outside that pocket and he's ran. He wasn't Jalen Hurts mobile. That's a different category, but he can pick up some first downs and he can run for some touchdowns. He's had some long touchdown runs. So, and
he can throw on the run decently too.
Somebody say Rosen did that. Please don't. Oh my God.
Let me ask you this: you're a Bama fan, so you watch them come up. Okay.
Yeah.
Where would you rank Ridley, Julio Jones, and Jerry Jeudy? And can Jerry Jeudy even be better than either one of those guys?
He can't be better than Julio. Listen, he has the ability, he has the potential. I will say he has potential, but Julio, I mean, and you look at, like I say, in the quarterbacks that were throwing to them, I don't even think any of them are in the league or even step in the league, and they still were productive. And they had to sit behind Derrick Henry and Lacey and all those running backs that came through and all that. We can go through all the power running backs that came through Bama. It's immense. Even people don't know that Kamara at one time was at Bama, but he transferred, I think, was it to Tennessee or something like that, because he wasn't getting on the field enough. So go look at the vast history of recruits of running back, top running backs, and you'll be surprised how many guys have been in Bama and have transferred out. But Julio, to me, will always be the top. I believe he has the ability to surpass Calvin Ridley just because of his size and his hands. But to me, Julio will always.
Jeudy, it's just like when I watch him, like he is like one of the best. He's one of the
that LSU. Julio Jones isn't getting taken out of any game.
And Jeudy and Julio ain't dropping that bomb that would have won the game. But I will say this, Jeudy, he is one of the best route runners I've ever seen. Like, so crisp, so quick with his cuts, and like his head turns right there and he's ready, man. Like, it's just this season, all of a sudden we started seeing a drop issue and it was weird. So I don't know.
And you know what? I will say this for what it's worth. Julio and them did not have to share the field with as much talent as Jeudy had to. Yeah. That wide receiving core was stacked, and
you got Wardell coming up, right?
But Devontae Smith's back there too, so that'll be great. Listen, I don't know if they're going with Mac Jones or Talia, but for what it is worth, for us to have underachieved as we did this year with all the talent we had.
Yeah.
That was definitely on coaching. I can't stress this enough. You could have given that ball to Najee Harris, and Najee Harris would have ran you anywhere you needed him to. He's just that great of a player and a running back, and I can't wait to see what he does. Think about his backup, Josh Jacobs, was in the running.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think
that's why running back.
That's insanity. That's why I think Najee stayed back, because he realized Tua's gone. This isn't going to be as pass heavy with Mac Jones or his brother, right? Because when they went pass heavy with Mac Jones, you were still, they won a few games, but you're still getting the turnovers, right? So I think they're going to go back to a power run, and Najee's like, my stock is going to soar, because we talked about it. LSU, what was the problem? That first half, they didn't find the balance. They put it too much into the passing game. In the second half, they brought the running game into it, and that's when Tua found his stride, because all the the running game takes pressure off the passing game, right? Yeah, exactly.
24, you're starting some freshman over Najee Harris in one of the biggest games.
Yeah.
But this is my thing, though. This might affect Devontae Smith's stock, because you put all this great tape on the field with Tua, because he can get you that deep ball. Where is it going to be this year? You feel me? But
yeah.
I really feel like Bama is going to redeem themselves this year, and they're going to win. on the legs and strength of Najee Harris, he will have over 2,000 rushing yards.
Yeah, you don't got to worry about LSU anymore, so you're good.
Man, listen, who knows? Bo Nix might decide to be something that they think he's supposed to be. You know, you never know what's going to happen. Auburn's always going to be competition, no matter what, because you're going to play hard that game.
Have you watched any? I was telling you, I'm to watch some stuff on this guy. Have you watched Spencer Rattler from Ohio State?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, when Justin Fields leaves, like it's going to be Rattler and that Jaden Daniels kid from Arizona State. But go watch Spencer Rattler. Like, as a freshman,
you think he's going to be better?
I think he could have been a starter anywhere else if he wasn't.
If Bama starts playing that weak zone, and let those and let Surtain and them guys go out there and man up like they can.
Surtain leaving after next year though, probably.
That's what I'm saying. But you're talking about this kid Rattler, like
but he won't see him till like
till his junior year, sophomore year.
Yeah, you won't see him. Yeah, you won't see him till sophomore, junior year at least.
Do I go to? I don't know what A day means. I don't know what that means.
But yeah, if you're just ever just on YouTube or whatever, just screwing around, just check Spencer Rattler and you'll see something. Yeah, and he's crazy. So,
can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Gotta put it on the field.
Well, have you watched? There's already tape out on there's already tape on the Manning kid. There's already tape on the Manning.
Oh, now listen, that kid, that him and Jerry Jones' grandson or something like that. Jesus Christ!
No, well, this Arch Manning is going to the same school, like high school or whatever that Peyton and Eli went to, right?
Wasn't he like an 8th grade starter on varsity or something like that?
I don't know about that, but all I know is the coaches. There's still some coaches from the Peyton Eli era there, and they're saying that Arch, developmental wise, is already way ahead of where Peyton and Eli were when they came to that school. Like, you should see this kid's throwing like dimes in the corner of the end zone, and you're just like, oh my god! And he's so poised. Like, you see plays where it breaks down, he just stands there. He's like, whatever. He just tosses a dime, and you're like, oh, okay, good for you, kid.
I love to, see kids coming up and all that, but we're gonna see once it comes, comes down to it, we're gonna see. Yeah. I'm interested in seeing where this kid Bo Nix goes, because they have such high hopes for him, and I'm interested in seeing. I mean, I don't see it yet, but development and all that. Auburn might be by his junior year. Auburn might be a possible threat. We'll see, but when it comes down to this year, Najee Harris is going to be your Heisman winner.
Wow,
Najee.
Najee Harris is going to be,
and we can quote our timestamp.
Yes, you want to know why? Because Bama plays bum teams, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to have a bunch of 200-yard games. He's going to rack up. He's going to have a lot of offensive touchdowns, right? And then once you get into the SEC play, there ain't too many teams we worried about other than Auburn. And I guess LSU, but we don't know what they're going to do. So Bo Nix is a question mark. That's why I said I'm interested to see where he develops to.
Hold on, Man, I was trying to pull this mock that I saw earlier up, but I can't find it. I was trying to get y'all. No, it was one that I saw somebody did. No, Kuipers, man. Kuiper, every mock he had us getting to, and now is Herbert. That Kuiper to go sit down somewhere, man.
He literally just follows the hype train, man. That's ridiculous.
I know.
Like,
that's all it is.
Yeah, not a fan.
To me, putting these things out even before the combine and all these things, all these stats are like finally listed for each and every player. It's just, what's the point?
Yeah, that's why
free agency because of teams' needs and stuff like that. It's going to change after people's pro days. The mock draft changes so many times that I really don't look at them until it's really, really close to the draft. I'm talking about maybe like 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time. Because there's so many variables that lead up to this. Yeah. What if a guy gets injured during like a workout with someone?
The problem you get with Kuiper is not only do you have like people in teams and teams leaking him stuff, but you also have agents leaking him stuff, trying to prop up people. So like it's like a game of agents, sources, and team leaks, and you're like, you know what I mean? So you have to look out. The agent one especially.
Oh wow, who do I want Tua's replacement to be? Anthony. Whoever wins out the position. I don't know. I don't know who Talia is, and I don't
actually comparing him to Tebow in the chat. Oh my lord.
Tebow GOAT number 2 behind Tannehill.
Bro, I'm
respect on Tebow name.
Bro, I'm a Gator fan, and they're not like. Tebow isn't even in the same round.
I will say Tebow was a great leader.
Yeah, he's a great leader, but was he a good
He just didn't have the tangibles.
No.
They never developed him in Florida.
Terrible mechanic.
Talent he had with him on there, they could have developed Tebow into a passer. They just relied on his athleticism too much, and it got him in trouble. And that just shows you.
Terrible mechanics too, like awful mechanics. That's why you always saw him trying to work on his mechanics with all these different places. Terrible mechanics, didn't have a strong arm, like not even an adequate arm, I would even say. Like that guy was just based off his athleticism. Like, are you kidding me? Tua, there are some people who literally put the words the most prolific college passer next to Tua's name. Because when you actually break it down and look at him, like I'm telling you, the guy's Drew Brees on the left side. It's not even comparable, man. Come on. Let's not say that stuff.
If Tua pans out, whatever team gets him, he knows.
Yeah, they're going to be awesome if he
can use the wide receivers around him because his touch is so impeccable. It's like be there. Kind of like out with Brady and everything with timing. And as long as you're on your mark on time, that ball will be there. Tua's just like, just go. I got you. It don't matter who you are. I'm going to use your talents and my talents to get us to where we need to get to, and that's the end game. And
we're gonna see how that translated in the NFL.
Translate well.
We're gonna see. We're gonna find out. But I think we hitting that 12:30 hour. I was supposed to go for 2 hours at 12, but we done made it to 12:30. But it's been another one, guys. It's been lovely. I'm sorry I couldn't find that mock, but we'll get it next time. Any last closing comments y'all wanted to bring up?
I have a question, just one question, because everyone's saying it. If Miami drafts Herbert, are we upset?
I mean, at 5?
I'm guessing that's where they put it at. They just said Miami's going to draft Herbert.
Listen, I'll tell you my thoughts is I don't want to draft Herbert at 5. No. But I am going to enjoy laughing at the two ears.
That is until you see what you actually drafted at 5 and you're like, oh.
No. I don't want her. At least I told you I don't want Herbert at 5.
Either do I.
But I would be
18 or 26. Okay. 18 or 26. Okay.
Okay.
It would be pretty hilarious, man. But what about you, Reason? We go Herbert. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I think I don't think projects should be in the first round, but this is the day and age, right? So I think you would be getting like a late first, early second round talent at 5. And 18 or 26, I guess, talk to me. because of the quarterback market. But at 5, that's a tough pill to swallow. A 2-year project at 5, I don't know if I can swallow that one, man.
I have one last question for you, TD, because you have so many amazing fans. Will you be Will you be bringing back the open Friday night panel because I miss Plank and Colin and Drusilla and even iTest. I mean, iTest has its purposes and uses, but are you gonna bring it back? I know it's a lot on you.
No,
but
so
are you gonna bring it back?
The open Friday night panel conversations, I want to say that I am going to bring it back, but here's the thing. I know that I can't commit to having an open panel conversation every Friday night because I'm not worried about the kids, but I have a wife. So we have to pick out at least 2 days a week where it's just us, and we try to make those either Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday, Friday. So Friday is a given, though. You know, she has a long week. She works hard, and Friday evenings are usually her best times off. So it just depends on the availability for that Friday. Like every weekend for the last 2 months, I believe we've traveled.
Yeah.
And we're traveling again Thursday to Sunday again this weekend. So every weekend we are gone, whether it's Dallas, whether it's Miami, work trip, whatever it may be, we're gone. So that's what it really has been. I intend to continue to have the Friday night, but things would have to settle down. And honestly, I don't see the settle down until maybe the middle of March. So that's where I am on that. But no, I look forward to it. I'm trying to get to a point to where I can go live at least 5 nights a week doing this. So we already know Tuesday night is reserved for the panelists unless I invite someone like your dad tonight. I invite them specifically. But Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if we're at night, Patreon members are always welcome. But if you notice, I've also opened up the opportunity at least once or twice a week to any and everyone because I don't want to leave anyone out. But also I have a Patreon now, so I have to make sure that I'm giving those Patreon members something that they can feel, exclusive with. So I try to make sure that they're first priority. But what I'll probably try to do is actually commit a specific night, whether it's Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, or Sunday during the off season, to where if you're not a Patreon member, where you're able to come on and share your thoughts and talk through some things. And what some people don't realize too, Vinsanity, is whenever I do open it up for everyone, I don't know if you all can see it on your end. I doubt that you can. You can't see people backstage, can you? Man, when I open it up for everyone and we're 6 deep, like I have 11 or 12 people backstage waiting. But then I feel bad because we're deep in the conversation. We'll say me and Reason's going back and forth for like 10, 15 minutes. And whoever I have on as a guest is sitting there waiting to say something. Then I let them say something, and it's so short of time. Do I kick them out right away and bring somebody else in? It's kind of like a give and take. It's hard to manage and make people feel comfortable. So I do realize you're not going to make everybody happy. You're not going to make everybody happy. No, I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Like on all those other nights and stuff, that's all fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, once again, you're not going to make everybody happy. And once you realize that, you just stop trying to a degree. You try to make the overall consensus happy with great content, and everyone else, it falls where it is. And those who understand that and recognize it is great. Those who don't, they just got to deal with that. That's them at the end of the day. So we trying to do bigger and better things and make it more interactive for everybody on here. But until we get to that point, we just got to continue to do what we're doing and try to make that part better. So, I mean, that's where I am on that. So we'll try to bring something where we can dedicate to bring everybody in on a specific night and maybe where no panelists are invited on that specific night, that'll open up more room as well, to give more opportunities to be on the show. So we'll make it happen, and it's about just having a good community where everyone can enjoy. But I will say this: some people start feeling entitled, and I don't mind it per se, but at the same token, I can't have people sending me messages directly, hey, you ignoring me and I don't like that. I mean, no, you can't. And I'm talking to everybody who's watching right now and everybody who's going to watch. Entitlement, there's nothing about TD Fins Talk for anyone where they have the right to feel entitled, especially. And that's why I tell people with the Patreon members, that's why I make sure I give them a perk, because they're actually contributing to it. But I don't throw that in people's face who don't, because you don't have to. I'm not begging anyone to, but it's usually the people who aren't contributing in that way. For some reason, they feel entitled. Why didn't you do this? Why couldn't you do that for me? Or why didn't you read this? Half the time, I don't even see all the comments. But some people feel entitled. So that's something I don't deal with. And a lot of times I ignore entitlement. And I guess that upsets some people even more. But hey, that's their business.
Try to, and Reason's always interacting in the chat, but I'll pull somebody, comment just so that they know, like, we do see what you guys are saying. Like, don't think for a second we don't see it. But sometimes we are so focused on what each other is saying. Like, there's times I'll be like, can you repeat that? And it's because I'm reading something and like I'm trying to hear it, but I'm trying to focus on what you guys are saying so I can get it in here. But we're engaged.
No, you know what I do? I go in the comments and I deal with the people who let their love and affliction for players cloud their judgment. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm Herbert P guys and Rosen guys are the exact same people. Like, you can't stand an evaluation that doesn't fit what you think or what your narrative, yet like my evaluation falls in line with like 90% of the people out there. So like I had someone trying to tell me in the chat, oh, they were talking today about how good he is throwing on the run. And then I just gave out the passing grade on the run is below 50 when he's outside the pocket. What are you talking? Like, come on, man. Like, people, that's the thing. Like, people like to twist things and fit narratives. And that's why I said earlier, I don't follow unless you're Marino, unless you're some transcendent player who's been around and, or Ricky Williams. I don't fall in love with the name on the back of the jersey as much as I do with the logo, man. So, and that's what you run into. Like, people take this personally when, like I get called a Rosen hater for stuff that's existed since UCLA, and I get called a Rosen hater when so many people agree with my evaluation. And I'm talking about people who've been like, I've been talking to TD, I've been talking to like scouts and people like Draft Network on Twitter about this kind of stuff. Like, it's hilarious, man. Like, people need to stop taking this stuff personally, man. Yo, a knock against a player you'll never meet is not a knock against you. Like, you know what I mean? That's
everybody has their opinions and stuff. I'm actually glad y'all respond to people in the chat, because people don't realize how much I have to manage on my end just to do this and do that. So I will never at this point be able to read the entire chat. Just letting you all know that now. And someone said, TD, for some reason tonight the link was giving a few people the 404 error message. I'll look into that. Sometimes that happens, but one thing I will say is it's Tuesday night, guys. Even I shouldn't even been sending the link out. I'll be honest with y'all. I shouldn't even been sending the link out, because everybody already knows over here that on Tuesday nights we go with the panel and people that I invited to the channel. I apologize for even wasting some of y'all time even sending the link, because I know I thought that EM was gonna hop in. That's why I kept putting it in anyway. I don't even look for people looking for the link at that point. So I'm sorry, y'all. Logan said K-Flex is free, y'all.
We had an issue with the EM.
Grade 1 DeVore is free, y'all. Yes, Dudley Durong is free as well. TD Fins Talk is free as well. If you want to sit here and watch the channel and enjoy it, all of our channels, Dudley Durong, Great One DeVore, K-Flex, and TD Fins Talk are all 4 free channels. Okay, to sit here and watch the content that we bring to you all, it is free. You never have to pay a dime. And for all those Patreon members that support the channel over and beyond, I thank y'all for doing so. And those who donate to the channel on the live chat, I thank y'all for helping the channel grow. Thank you so much, y'all. I appreciate y'all showing y'all love in different ways. And I just want to be clear, you never have to. TD never asked you to. I just tell you how you can if you chose to. So thank you guys who do always come through the comment section and show your love in those ways. Pleasure for sure, TD. No question, Chris. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to King Truth, who just dropped the donation, said y'all rock. Thank you, King Truth. Once again, individuals that I'm not asking them to send anything, but they are showing their love. Vic Coaster, as always, man. Vic Coaster, man, he donates, he Patreon, and even when he don't, he's in the comment section promoting the channel, helping this channel grow. Let me tell y'all something about Vic. Even if Vic didn't give a dime to this channel, I could recognize Vic because you know what he's doing in the comment section on every single stream? He's letting people know to hit that like button so that he can help support this channel. He's letting people know to subscribe to the channel so he can help be an asset to this channel. So what I want to say to some of you all, it's not about money whatsoever. If you really want to contribute to the channel and help the channel, let other people know about it. Hit that like button, share the videos, let your friends and family all. And you can tell who are ingrained in the family, not from a money standpoint, but you can tell those who are ingrained in the TDPHINSTALK family and those who are not. And I promise you, those who are not, nothing's wrong with that. We just hope that you're enjoying the content. That's all we ask, is that you enjoy the content. Nothing more, nothing less. All right. Just come hang out with us. Talk your talk noise. Agree, disagree. Tell reason why we not drafting Tua. Tell Insanity that Tannehill's the GOAT. Whatever you want to come do. We welcome any and everybody on this show.
Come on the panel and try and school me on Herbert after saying
see you got to give them the right impression reason, because they're gonna try to come on Tuesday when they can't come.
Oh, come any night. Come on the other night you see us on, man. I got someone calling him extremely accurate when I just said he's the 50th in the FBS on intermediate throws between 1 and 9 yards accuracy percentage, but he's extremely accurate. Yo, you can't get through to some people, brother. Some people are just locked and set in, and they're just in their box, brother. And you just got to learn to cope and deal with that, and you move on.
Exactly. Hey, and I have to say this. FM's right. Automatic TD copay always. That's the only time that I ever ask for money, baby. Is when we lose. I need my copays, man, because I do great therapy sessions. Yeah, I need my copays. And people come through with the copays because we had great therapy sessions, man. But the good thing about next year is we're not going to have any therapy sessions because we're going 16-0. We win in the Super Bowl. We're telling all of the haters, take this, take that. I'm telling Mr. Ball Game, who said, bro, you want us to be realistic? We're going to be 8-8. Ball Game, we going to the Super Bowl. We going to the Super Bowl.
Shout out
Ball
to
Game
Ball
on the road right now.
I'm with Ball Game on that.
I'm
with Ball Game on that, but I'll take you. Hey, we're going to Super Bowl. I'm there for the ride. Let's go.
Yeah. Super Bowl, baby. Oh, and I'm about to take care of my draft. I'm gonna take care of my draft itinerary and travel this weekend. So I'll have everything that I'm gonna have booked, and then I'll be able to communicate with everyone and let them know where we are with that. If we want to meet up, if we want to hang out when we doing the shows and different stuff like that. So I'll give everybody all the details on the draft because I plan on being in Vegas for the draft. I'm gonna be nervous at the draft. Who are we gonna take? But it's gonna be good times, man. Hey, but don't forget, 16-0, ladies and gentlemen. 16-0. The only team to go undefeated and win the Super Bowl after the 72 Dolphins will be these Dolphins, baby. I have faith. And even if we don't go 16-0, we go into the playoffs. And if we in the playoffs, we win in the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. The first year we go back to the playoffs, we going to the chip. We going to the chip. You better believe it, man. Don't be listening to all of these realists. There ain't nothing wrong with being a realist because I think that's what you should be listening to. But don't listen to them in this regard. Ignore all of that. Ignore your common sense in this one situation. Cause we going to the Super Bowl, baby. This year. Period. No question.
I'll be in Vegas from Wednesday until Saturday. So
I'm waiting.
I think I'll be there Wednesday to Sunday.
I'm waiting to figure out the itinerary. I'll probably, if I'm coming out because I got the okay from the wifey, I'll probably come out for like Thursday night and I'll be out Sunday.
Okay.
So you'll be coming out. You'll be coming on Thursday night.
Yeah, I'll try and come in on Thursday night.
Who you gonna miss the first round?
Isn't it? Oh, isn't it Friday?
The draft. No, the draft starts Thursday.
Yeah,
oh, then I'll be on Wednesday. Yeah, I'll be on Wednesday night. Then my bad. I thought.
Okay, I was gonna say, man, Tua about to be. I mean, Reason gonna be on the plane when we skip Tua. I need to see you in your face. I need to see your expression on your face.
I know what's the name.
You know,
I want to see EM cry in the car.
It'll probably be way easier to post up on day 2 or day 3 somewhere near there because all the excitement of round 1 will be gone. And that's where we have like another 10 picks potentially, right? So
ball game said Wednesday to Sunday for him.
Yeah. EM should, we'll see. I'm so looking forward to meeting DM, like DM Fins. He was in Vegas.
Yeah, he's in Vegas. Yeah, we're gonna link up with DM.
I don't think he's a Wednesday to Sunday for me. Also, I think I'm the only one that's leaving early then. Yay, early vacation for me. See, I'm always trying to get out early, Titty.
How you the only one? You just said Wednesday.
Because I have church Sunday and
oh, you mean Saturday you leaving early. Oh, okay. Saturday night. Yep. Wait, so you're not gonna stick around for the end of the draft, or you gonna fly out right after? Yeah, now I'm not enjoying. Y'all gonna have to forgive me now. I'm just telling y'all now. I am not going to be participating in Saturday's draft. I'm gonna be checking my phone, seeing who we got, but a reason probably to be participating.
I want to go to a show.
We're gonna be in Vegas. We're gonna be in Vegas. We're gonna work hard Thursday night. We're gonna work hard Friday. Saturday, we got him in the 7th. Okay. We'll have some live updates in and out. But we in Vegas. I'm trying to go get every single person from TDPHINSTALK a little I don't know what to call it. I'm just we're gonna have some fun, y'all. We're gonna have some fun.
I want to see some shows. That's it. Like, this is my first time in Vegas.
Yeah, we're gonna see some shows. All right, they said. You know what? We're gonna go everywhere. We're gonna be all up and down the strip.
Oh, okay.
But EM gonna be no fun, man. He gonna be crying in the car because we didn't get to her. He gonna try to ruin the whole trip.
You know, the good thing about it is if you're flying into Vegas, you have to have your ID. So no one should be without their ID. All right,
that's true. Don't be without your ID.
Don't be the party pooper and the one has to go back upstairs because you forgot your ID. Because I'm not waiting for you.
But we're gonna have fun on Saturday. I mean, we probably gonna be live having fun too.
Are we gonna go check out that pawn shop? That American, you know that
what pawn shop?
That one that's on TV on History Channel. On what's it? The dad the grandpa passed away recently, right?
Yeah.
Which one?
Pawn
Stars.
Yeah, there you go. I've been watching this so long, but
Pawn Stars. Okay. The bald guy.
Hey, we can do whatever, man. We can have some fun. I just know in on the PM of Saturday, man. If it's Saturday, man, you're gonna have to leave Sunday. We're gonna get you out of here like 5 a.m. Sunday so you can make it to church.
But still, the time difference. You're thinking about the flight and then the time difference.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We might just have to party real late after the drive on Friday. Yeah.
Wow. You think? But
we gotta get EM back to his room by 11. Two are gonna give him a curfew.
But you know what? The time difference, because the draft will be happening over in the East Coast like around 7, 8 o'clock. So it'll only be 5.
You're right.
You're right.
The draft will be over 10 p.m. in Vegas, so we still got all night. And that's you're right.
I'm going to find two and party with them.
Listen, if we don't,
we might see them.
Listen, there's so many guys whose autograph I would just love to just have just on record because of their potential. But think about everyone who's going to be there and all the networking you can do while you're out there. It's Vegas, baby. We're gonna be working and having fun and working and having fun, and you never know what doors God will open for you. Sometimes it's in the right place at the right time. So
you're right.
All we can do is pray on it and hope that that when the harvest,
we gonna make the most of it.
Right,
we'll
when
make the most of it.
The harvest is plentiful. That's all we can ask for.
Exactly. It'll flourish, man. But we about to get out of here, y'all. Again, we thank y'all for tuning in to TD Fins Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Again, thank you to our panelists tonight. Cease007 stopping through for me. Finsanity 5 as always. And I know Reason, yesterday was your birthday, but happy belated birthday to you.
Thanks, brother.
Happy belated birthday to you. Happy belated birthday to Reason. The Reason. Happy belated birthday to you. See, you can't get that high. Y'all can't get that high on that note. Y'all don't be hating. But anyway, man. Finsanity, like, really?
At least you tried to stay on one key. At least you tried.
Yeah.
I don't let my wife tell it. She gets mad when I sing. She be like, "Oh, you just so off key. Just stop."
Is she coming to Vegas?
TD go. Nah, she ain't coming to Vegas.
Why not? I would love for Hillary to. Oh my gosh!
Stop that mess, Finsanity.
Okay, so all the female Dolphin fans, you guys have to come out to
Finsanity.
What?
Stop that mess. She coming to Vegas with you, girl. You better stop.
Can't take you nowhere,
you
bro.
Better stop.
I go to First Baptist Church.
She ain't coming though. She wouldn't want to come. She wants me to enjoy myself and have fun because I also have my my brothers from college that's coming in. It's like 7 of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're all coming into Vegas for the draft. So I'm probably gonna be with them a lot of time during the day, and then I'm gonna be with my TD Fins Talk family during the night. And then probably a mix of both after the night. So it just depends. So it's just I got a lot going on when I go to Vegas. I'm nonstop because I got a lot. Because I really want to hang with y'all on a personal level and just hang out with y'all and just chill with y'all, just hang out. Y'all know what I mean. So we're gonna have some fun. I can't wait. I cannot wait. This is gonna be fun. So if anybody in the comment section, if you are also gonna be in Vegas, man, I can't wait to see you, meet up with you, get to put some faces to some of the names on here, even though some of y'all I've seen y'all faces, but still just to be able to hang out with y'all, dap it up a little, chill, laugh, talk about EM in his face, all that good stuff. So I look forward to it. It'll be pretty fun, man. I'm there with you all for sure. Vic gonna be in the house, man. It's gonna go down. It's gonna be going down. So I can't wait. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna be live doing all this, y'all. So if you can't go and you're not gonna be there, trust me, TD gonna have the camera on often. Okay, we're gonna have the camera on often. Now I'm gonna be careful because if anybody don't want to be on camera, I gotta keep them off. But yeah, we're gonna have some fun. But anywho, it's time to get up out of here, man. It's almost 1 o'clock. Lord, I just keep on going to sleep late. Yes, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm glad I did this stream because I was not feeling well when I first started the stream. I was feeling like I was getting a little under the weather, but for some reason I feel, I'm good right now. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm gonna go to sleep right now. I'm probably work on some of my business plan and stuff. So good night, y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all love and support as always.
See you guys next week.
Yes. Finsanity might see you this weekend, but all right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. All right, Reason. All right, everybody. Thank y'all again for tuning in to TD Fins Talk. Much love. Hit that like button on your way out. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Let me see. I want to give y'all an update on TD Fins Talk subscriber count because if I'm not mistaken, we're about to hit a whole new threshold. We talked about it earlier this week. Let me get this off the screen first. We talked about it earlier this week. I think it was last Tuesday. It was last Tuesday or Wednesday where we said we had the potential to get to 7,600 subscribers. And guys, we are at 7,595 subscribers on this channel. We're only 5 subscribers away from 7,600. We are moving at a fast pace. It's just crazy how much we've been growing as of lately. This month alone, we're already almost at 200 subscribers. So we're on pace to hitting 300 to 400 subscribers this month. And this is off season, y'all. So we're doing our thing. So if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Again, let your friends and family members know about TD Fins Talk. We're trying to do some bigger and better things over here. I love y'all, love y'all, love y'all. I hope y'all get a good night's rest. This is TD Fins Talk. I am out, y'all. Time to go to bed. Peace. The reason